shortened regular season. When you compare that to 2019, the last World Series after a full season, this year's numbers pale in comparison. One point worth noting, streaming for this year's series on Fox's digital outlets rose by 49%. I'm Oscar Wells Gabriel.
John Deere executives say the company will not be returning to the bargaining table with striking workers because it will not be offering a better contract than the one that they rejected. That proposed contract included immediate 10% raises. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really white and nerdy. My class here at MIT got skills.
Well, hey there. Good morning, and welcome once again to the Good Morning Artesia radio show with pictures. Hello there. We are getting ready for Thursday. It is the 4th of November, 2021. Got a big weekend coming up, and we're just a couple of weeks away now from Thanksgiving. We are 3 weeks away from the Turkey Day holiday, and then the Black Friday weekend and all the stuff that is associated with that. Hope you're off to a great start today. And coming up on the show today, if I can pull up my calendar here, we've got the Altrusa Food Drive is coming up next weekend, and so we're going to have a couple of Altrusans in to talk about that. That'll be coming up 7:45 this morning. Captain James Moore is going to be filling in for the sheriff today. That'll be at 8 o'clock. Carol from the Senior Center will be joining us about 8:45, bring us our weekly update of activities at the Artesia Senior Center. It is Thursday. We'll have our weekly update from Candace and Lindsay from the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. That'll be at 9:10. And then we'll finish up the show with a look back at Artesia's history with Michael Rebman from the Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center. So that's all coming up on the show today. Tonight is Bulldogs on Review opening night at the Estelle Yates Auditorium, 7 o'clock tonight. It's British Invasion, Volume 21. And that'll be tonight. I don't know if this is Bulldogs on Review, Volume 21, or if this is British Invasion, Volume 21, because I'm looking at it in the order on the poster. So it says Bulldogs on Review, British Invasion, November 4 and 6, 2021, Volume 21, Estelle Yates Auditorium. So is this the 21st volume of Bulldogs on Review or the 21st volume of British Invasion? I don't know. But it is what it is. But that's tonight. And cost us $7 to get in, and you can get your tickets at the door or at the high school office. But that is Bulldogs on Review. They'll do that again on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So tonight and Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Bulldogs on Review. We've got the Bulldog Community Growl. Let's see if I can find that here. The Community Growl is tomorrow night at 5:15. That'll be at the Bulldog Bowl. It's just a big old community pep rally. Band will be there. Choir, many sports teams. Entertainment is free. Laughs are free. Admission is free. And that's 5:15. There'll be hot air balloons. And not in the parking lot at the Bulldog Bowl, but in the Bulldog Bowl. How about that? There'll be, I think, 3 hot air balloons, and then the band and the big old pep rally. So come on out and be a part of that. That's tomorrow at 5:15. Hot air balloons, weather permitting, lifting off from the Eagle Draw Saturday and Sunday morning. Of course, again, Bulldogs on Review tonight and Saturday night. There's the tunes with the balloons and tunes. So got a lot of stuff going on. Football playoffs get started this weekend. Goddard is in a round of 12 game. Roswell and Artesia got bye weeks. Carlsbad actually made it into the playoffs this year in 6A. Carlsbad will be playing tomorrow night in Albuquerque against Volcano Vista. That's a 6-11. Hobbs made it into the playoffs. They'll be hosting a playoff game this weekend against El Dorado. So in 6A, Hobbs and Carlsbad will be playing this weekend in the round of 12. In 5A, Goddard is the only team from our district that is in the round of 12. Artesia and Roswell got byes, so Goddard plays tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the Wool Bowl against Valley. That's a 6-11. Goddard the 6. And if you can't go, it'll be on 106.1 radio, and it'll be on KSVPTV.com for free. For free, thanks to our sponsors. So that's the 5A. 4A, Lovington got the bye this week. Ruidoso plays Saturday afternoon. The 6, Ruidoso, they'll be hosting Aztec, the 11. That's on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then in 3A football, in the 3A championships, first round of 12, New Mexico Military Institute will be playing this weekend. They got the 5 seed. They'll be hosting through. And the 10 seed Dexter will be traveling on the road to the 7 seed Cuba this weekend in 3A playoffs. So the 3A up high school football playoffs get started this weekend across New Mexico. There's one, I think the volleyball district with Carlsbad, Roswell, Clovis, Hobbs, I think they've ended their season. They're awaiting the seeding. Roswell finished up beating Clovis last night, but I don't think either Roswell or Clovis are going to make the playoffs. Artesia volleyball will be at Portales Saturday afternoon. Goddard volleyball will be at Lovington. So Goddard is in the driver's seat to win the district, and Artesia looking for a win over Portales to improve their seeding probabilities when the brackets come out this weekend for the volleyball state tournament, which is next week. I think the soccer state championships are this weekend. Carlsbad, Eric will mention this, Carlsbad girls advanced to the championship with a win yesterday. So a lot of stuff going on to worry about or get excited about when it comes to to sports and athletics. On the radio this weekend, we've got, or not on the radio, but on the TV, Bronco, NMMI Bronco football. They finish up their season with Trinity Valley Community College, 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon at the Wool Bowl. That'll be on KSVPTV.com. On the radio, KEND, Saturday afternoon at 1. Eastern Greyhounds will be at North American University, 1 o'clock kickoff. That'll be on KEND 106.5. And let's see, the Aggies, do the Aggies play this weekend, New Mexico State? Or are they, I think the Aggies are playing this weekend. Yeah, they're playing this weekend. They're playing Utah State. That's right. And that is going to be Saturday afternoon. So we're going to that game right after the conclusion of the volleyball game from Portales. So on the radio and on KSVP TV will be the volleyball game, and then the Aggies will join the Aggie game. They're hosting Utah State. So the Aggies have 3 more games after this weekend. The Greyhounds have 1 more game after this weekend. Texas Tech has 3 more games left, but they're off this week. They resume with football, Big 12 football, on the 13th when they host Iowa State. And then they've got Oklahoma State in Lubbock, and then they travel to Baylor to wrap up their season. And I don't see any of those teams going on to the playoffs. The Broncos from NMMI, they're going to go on to the playoffs, so that'll be interesting to see. One of the things I found interesting, and I've kind of mentioned this on the radio, I get a few questions about this from time to time. There's been a little bit of a controversy going on with talk show host Dan Bongino. And I've mentioned it from time to time. Bongino is syndicated by Westwood One, and after the passing of Rush Limbaugh, and Premier Radio Networks, which syndicates the Rush Limbaugh show, had not made any announcement as to who their replacement for Rush Limbaugh was going to be. The folks over at Westwood One said, hey, Dan Bongino got the Rush Limbaugh show, which he did not get the Rush Limbaugh show. He got a show in the time slot formerly held by Rush Limbaugh, syndicated by Westwood One, which is a different syndicator than the syndicator of the Rush Limbaugh show. Bongino launched his show on Westwood One Cumulus back in May. He has been in a fight with his syndicator because his syndicator, Westwood One Cumulus, has a vaccine mandate for all their employees. And a bunch of people were let go because they did not comply with that company's vaccine mandate. So Bongino has been protesting that, took himself off the air for a week and a half. Took himself off the air, off his nationally syndicated show. Well, he came back on the show yesterday to continue to rip his syndicator and to rip other nationally syndicated radio talk show hosts. He said, this is what he said on his radio show. Did he say this on his radio show or his podcast? In the first hour of his show, radio show. He said, I'm going to create a fund for these Cumulus employees who were let go in a pathetic and disturbing fashion. I'm going to highlight their stories. I'm going to put $250,000 of my own money in that fund. That'll be the start. We'll take care of many Cumulus employees as we can. So he's on the air, owned by Cumulus, ripping Cumulus and talking about setting up a fund to take care of employees wronged by Cumulus on a show that he has that is being distributed by Cumulus. Regarding the fight with Cumulus, Bongino said negotiations are still going on. There's some movement there. And then he went on to berate the radio industry and other radio talk show hosts. Quote, behind the scenes in this business, there are a lot of jealous, envious people, and that's putting it mildly because I'm trying to be nice. A lot of them are largely concerned about where they're going to get their next $1 million or their next radio contract. They're not really concerned about conservative stuff. And where I could have really used their support here, while I was out here dangling on my own, fighting this vaccine mandate at this company, Many of them decided to go to the left-wing media to try to shut me up. I don't know who he's talking about, but that's an interesting take. But apparently he thinks that that's been going on. Other talk show hosts who claim to be conservative are going on left-wing media ripping Bongino when they could have been supporting him in his efforts to negotiate a better deal with his employer. Earlier in the day, this is a Radio Inc. story, by the way. Earlier in the day, after he recorded his podcast, and we believe before the radio show, Bongino hosted an emergency press conference on Facebook on what appeared to be his phone, where he accused, quote, a bunch of conservative radio hosts, unquote, of leaking to the media that he has lost their support on his stand against a vaccine mandate. Bongino pulled no punches. He attacked the other conservative hosts, some who hold the same time slot as he does, although he didn't name names. He said they are going to the media to try to discredit him and get his affiliates to drop him and add them. He accused the other syndication companies of calling him a troublemaker and telling the PDs their hosts will not say anything about the mandate. Bongino said he is a troublemaker and will be a troublemaker until the day he goes 6 feet under. So apparently he's not happy with Clay and Buck, and he's not happy with Premier, which is the syndicator of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show, which we carry here on KSVP, because when the situation arose after Rush's passing, what are we going to do? What show are we going to put on in its place? We decided that we were going to stick with Premier and maintain our relationship with Premier Radio Network, even though we were contacted by Westwood One numerous times about the Bongino show. And I didn't appreciate their Westwood One's tactics saying, Dan Bongino's got the Rush Limbaugh show. He didn't get the Rush Limbaugh show. He got a show in the Rush Limbaugh slot. And we wanted to see who Premier was going to come out with. And then this whole deal, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about Bongino's take on the vaccine mandates. I understand where he's coming from, and I think there's going to be more of that. There's a story on the Fox Business Channel this morning that the OSHA vaccine mandate came out yesterday, and it's going to hit large employers January 4th with hefty fines for non-compliance. So in the past, it's been President Brandon telling everybody that you're going to have to get vaccinated if you work at a company 100 employees or more. Now they've put it into the OSHA rules that were announced yesterday. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is giving employers with more than 100 employees a January 4th deadline to comply with President Brandon's COVID-19 vaccine mandate, and threatening thousands of dollars in fines for defiant businesses, according to a fact sheet released by the White House Thursday. OSHA rule is expected to be immediately challenged in court by Republican states and some business groups. Separate from OSHA, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is issuing a rule to require health care workers in facilities participating in Medicare and Medicaid to be fully vaccinated. The CMS rule will also go into effect on January 4. Unlike the OSHA rule, the CMS rule affecting healthcare workers does not allow for a testing alternative to vaccination. The CMS rule does allow for medical and religious exemptions. So, Bongino is on his show against his syndicator, affecting his affiliates with his protest over the vaccine mandates at Cumulus, but now the government, through OSHA and through the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, are now going to come out and attempt to enforce this vaccine mandate. If you're an employer with 100 employees or more, OSHA is going to fine the snot out of you if you don't force your employees to get vaccinated. And now if you are a healthcare facility that accepts or participates in the Medicare or Medicaid system, you get money from Medicare or Medicaid for the services that you provide for the people that it funds. If you don't mandate all of your employees are vaccinated, that's going to be an issue with the CMA. So it's coming down the line, folks. It's these vaccine mandates, while not written into law anywhere. Congress has not voted. The House and the Senate have not introduced or have not passed bills. I'm not going to say they haven't been introduced. They may have been introduced, but they've not passed any bills. The President of the United States has not signed any legislation passed by the representatives of the people to enact these mandates. But the government entities, the agencies that the government creates, somehow have this broad-based authority in order to start mandating these types of issues under their umbrella of occupational safety. And you know, if you're a Medicare or a Medicaid participating health agency and you don't have a health vaccine mandate and you don't mandate all of your people get vaccinated, you're not going to be able to participate in the Medicare and Medicaid system. So we continue to roll on towards this path that apparently President Brandon and our other leaders think that we have to do. And we've got a governor in Santa Fe that is very much in that same mindset when it comes to these things. So there we are. Happy Thursday to you. Let's see what kind of weather. I thought this was all going to be gone, Steve. What's going on out
I'm
here?
meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure moving in behind a cold front. We may get a few clouds early today, but turning sunny in the afternoon. Pretty comfortable daytime highs in the mid-60s. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we warm up quite a bit tomorrow. We're back to the upper 70s and sunny. Close to 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. And then we're in the low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All right, Steve-O, thank you very much. Let's see here. Yeah, the vaccine mandates are coming. I keep waiting. You know, we, Pecos Valley Broadcasting, are not regulated by the state. We're regulated by a federal agency, the Federal Communications Commission. And I keep waiting to read where the FCC is going to start dabbling in this kind of stuff to see what they're going to see if they're going to follow suit with the rest of these governmental agencies. Because it seems like nobody is looking at the science. Now, they claim they're looking at the science, but nobody's looking at the science. And I don't know. You know, now they're authorizing vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds. State of New Mexico says we've got it now. If you want to get your 5 to 11-year-old vaccinated, I think we have to stop using the word vaccination. I think we have to call it a COVID shot. Because if I get the polio vaccine, I'm not getting polio. But if I get the COVID vaccine, I could still get COVID, and I could still spread it to other people. I'm not less likely to get sick. I'm less likely to require hospitalization. I'm less likely to die. Depending on a lot of other health factors, there's benefits to the COVID vaccine, no question about that. But to make it a OSHA requirement, I don't know. It's I think that's what's got a lot of people upset about the whole thing. So maybe that's the first step, is we're going to call it a COVID shot, not a vaccine. Because if it were a vaccine, then once you were vaccinated, you wouldn't get it, and you wouldn't spread it. Maybe that's the first thing we need to do, is come clean and honest with the people and say, all right, we mislabeled this. It's not really a vaccine. It's a shot. And we recommend you get it, especially if you meet this criteria. And by the way, you might have to get one every year or two, depending on the different variants of this virus that are out there. And we recommend that you get another shot to be prepared for whatever variants and so forth are coming out every year. Would more people take it or be willing to take it if it was presented in that light? Be an interesting discussion to have. Right now in Artesia, fog and 39 degrees. We've got humidity at 100%. The dew point is 39 degrees. Our winds are from the southeast at 5 miles per hour. Pressure at 30.31 and rising. Our air quality index is 27, so we have good air quality this morning. Sunset will be at 6:03 this afternoon. The sunrise will be at 7:19 in the morning. Around the region, fog and 39 in Carlsbad, cloudy and 37 in Roswell, 34 in Hobbs. Around New Mexico, clear skies, 38 in Albuquerque, 34 in Santa Fe, 31 in Cloudcroft, 33 at Ruidoso, 42 at Las Cruces, 31 at Farmington. Partly cloudy and 24 at Red River, haze and 33 in Clovis, partly cloudy and 40 in Lubbock, Texas. And again, here in Artesia, we've got the fog and 39. Lunch menus right now. We've got breakfast pizza for the breakfast in the Artesia schools today. Cheeseburger, savory curly fries, some shredded lettuce and pickles, and a frozen fruit cup for the kids at lunch today in the Artesia Public Schools. The Artesia meal site today, lasagna with salad, mixed vegetables, garlic bread, and apple cobbler. So it's lasagna at the Artesia Senior Meal Site today. Yes, I know it's lasagna. Just like I know it's President Brandon. At the Senior Center today, exercise video is at 8:15. The painting class paints from 9 to 11. The bridge people will be playing bridge at 1 o'clock. The open art studio continues after lunch at 1 o'clock. Some Swedish weaving at 1:30. They'll play Texas Hold'em at 2 o'clock. And the exercise video again at 4 o'clock this afternoon at the Senior Center. A reminder, tomorrow, being the first Friday of the month, Howard from Here on Earth Hearing Service will be at the Senior Center 9 to 11 to service your hearing aids and sell you fresh batteries. So that's tomorrow, 9 to 11. Friday, tomorrow, 9 to 11 at the Artesia Senior Center. See, folks having birthdays today. Ray Taylor is celebrating a birthday today. Lily Urban, Virgie Palomine, Glenn Gregory, Tim Posey, and O.G. Robles, all celebrating birthdays today. The original Robles. Isn't that what OG means? So Ray, Lily, Virgie, Glenn, Tim, and OG, happy birthday to all of you from all of us here at KSVP. All right, these folks have some good words for you. Let's take a listen.
When is the last time you've been to an old-fashioned revival? What does revival even mean? Webster defines revival as a return or recovery to life from death. Now, why would a church invite people to return and recover from death? That's because so often in our lives we become tired and inactive. We need a time to hear from God and to be awakened to live with the energy and distinction that only Christ Jesus can give. Are you ready for revival? Join us at New Hope Baptist Church November the 7th through the 10th for great music by Christian recording artists The Wills Family and our special speaker, evangelist Jake Sinareski from Alaska.
We can't breathe without God. We can't walk without God. We can't talk, we can't preach, we cannot do anything without Him.
It's going to be a powerful week, and we want to see you at New Hope Baptist Church, November the 7th through the 10th, across from Yeso Elementary School on Center Avenue.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose. But you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Sandy Stockton will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family, no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you'd do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Sandy Stockton in Artesia today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
As the effects of COVID-19 impact us all, PVT recognizes the risk to our community, employees, and customers. We are taking common sense protective measures while providing the vital communication services you need. Our technicians are on the job taking care to ensure their safety and the protection of all of us. Service and support are still available over the phone at 575-748-1241 and online at pvt.com. PVT is committed to keeping our community connected during this challenge.
It's coming. The Pops Mobile Diner. All the food, fun, and flavors of the 50s street side. The same great food, the same phone number, and the same name. Stay tuned to find out more about Pops Mobile Diner. Coming soon.
Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia Radio Show. We'll see what happens with the news of the day. For a good laugh, though, it's always good to go to the Babylon Bee. Headline on the Babylon Bee this morning, Terry McAuliffe, quote, "I'll be back and I'll get your children if it's the last thing I do." Boy, the ramifications of the Virginia election are still being felt all across the country. The Democrat left-wing media say it was racist dog whistles that encouraged people in Virginia to vote against Terry McAuliffe. Racist dog whistles. Meanwhile, the voters of Virginia said, what? And elected a white guy, a black woman, and a Hispanic to statewide office. So, yeah, racist dog whistle. I really think the election in Virginia was, for most people, was the... I think Trump was a factor in that Trump didn't campaign against, but endorsed Youngkin and had some rallies in support of Youngkin, but I don't think was an active campaigner with Youngkin. But the Trump people, the Trump wing of the Republican Party, if you will, were encouraged to vote for Youngkin. I think people in Virginia did not like being told that critical race theory is not being taught in their schools and that they have no say-so in what their kids should be taught. I think that's what happened in Virginia. And Youngkin took advantage of that, and hopefully he sincerely means what he said on the campaign trail about that, and that's what we're going to find out. But anytime any talking head gets on there and says, oh, yeah, it was white supremacy, it was racism that led to Youngkin winning, say, you do know that in addition to the white guy, they also voted for a black woman for lieutenant governor and a Cuban immigrant for attorney general. So I don't know what this dog whistle is that you're talking about. Anyway, let's see what else is happening in the news here around the Pecos Valley. Eric has our sports report. Kim Commando with your tech tip for Thursday, all next.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. A ceremony is planned for Friday to honor everyone involved in the planning and construction of the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center. A plaque will be unveiled recognizing those who played a role. The Friday ceremony takes place at 2 p.m. at the center at 1042 West College Boulevard in Roswell. Youth and adult ceramics classes for the winter term are scheduled to start in January at the Roswell Museum and Arts Center. Registration is now available through the museum's website. That's roswellmuseum.org. Students may also register on the phone. That's 575-624-6744, or in person during their normal hours. The youth classes will focus on coil and slab building techniques. The Roswell Museum and Arts Center is located at 1011 North Richardson Avenue, just north of the Roswell Convention Center. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Now more than ever, you need to stay as healthy as possible. At Lowell's Pharmacy, we want to help by providing flu shots and COVID-19 vaccines. Now is the time to come into Lowell's Pharmacy for your flu shot. Employers can schedule with Lowell's to conduct a flu shot clinic at your place of business. And it's okay to get your flu shot and COVID-19 vaccination at the same time. You will have to register for your vaccine at nmvaccine.org. The key to staying healthy is exercise, eat nutritional foods, keep up your appointments with your doctor and get the flu shot and COVID-19 vaccine at Lowell's Pharmacy, across from the hospital on North 13th in Artesia.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. Why do these games have to be so close? Because it's a state soccer semifinal. Yesterday, the Carlsbad Cave Girls, in pursuit of a back-to-back championship, they defeated La Cueva, visiting La Cueva. Final score 1-0. The only goal came in the 58th minute. It was, as you might predict, the Dugan sisters for Carlsbad that teamed up. Senior Alexa had the assist, and her younger sister, freshman Abby, scored the goal. 1-0 is the final score. Carlsbad's now 20-2 on the season. That was only La Cueva's third loss of the season. Two of them came to Carlsbad. Carlsbad plays in Albuquerque Friday for the championship against top-seeded Cibola, which defeated Hobbs 3-1 yesterday. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio AM 990.
Almost overnight, Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, has become a perfect target for the world's top conspiracies. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. I'll begin by clearly stating that these internet rumors are so blatantly ridiculous and false that they're just laughable. Remember the absurd claim that 5G phones caused COVID? And then there's the one that COVID-infected Maine lobsters shipped to China caused the pandemic. That one was started by Chinese government-backed Twitter accounts. And now there's this one gaining steam. Bill Gates is mixing microchips in with COVID vaccines to track people. Now just imagine the number of people, tens of millions, who would be required for a cover-up of that magnitude. And never mind that everyone is already being tracked with their own smartphones. And by the way, I can't wait to share with you all the posts I'll be getting from this particular tech update at twitter.com/Kim Commando. If you've ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there's no better time than now. This week, my friends at Simply Safe are giving my listeners 40% off their award-winning home security. I love Simply Safe because that's everything that you need to make your home safe. Indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simply Safe was even named the best home security system of 2021 by U.S. News & World Report. You can easily customize the system for your home online in minutes. These are Simply Safe's biggest discounts of the year. Get a complete home security system starting at just over $100 with no long-term contracts or commitments. Take advantage of Simply Safe's holiday sale and get 40% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com for 40% off your system. Hurry. Offer ends soon. simplysafekim.com.
Terpening and Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. Graveside services are scheduled for 2 p.m. Friday, November 5th at Twin Oaks Memorial Park for George Emery McGonigal of Artesia, New Mexico. Mr. McGonigal died November 2nd at his home at the age of 87. Visitation will be at Terpening and Son Mortuary from 1 to 6 p.m. today. Emery was born in July 1934 in Carlsbad, the son of Alex McGonigal and Catherine Czar McGonigal. He was a longtime resident of Artesia. He was married to Jessie McFarland in May of 2014. He was a championship bronc rider in New Mexico, enjoyed dancing, and was one of the most honest, straightforward people in the world. He is survived by his wife, Jessie McGonigal, nephew, Mike McGonigal, a special daughter, Jackie McFarland, and 4 bonus kids. Again, graveside services are at 2 p.m. Friday, November 5th, Twin Oaks Memorial Park for George Emery McGonigal of Artesia, who passed away November 2nd at the age of 87. Visitation is at Terpening and Son Mortuary from 1 to 6 today. This reminder that services are scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning at First United Methodist Church for Georgia Norberta Irby of Artesia, who passed away October 29th at the age of 84. Monty Lavelle will officiate. Cremation will take place following the services. Visitation will be at Terpening and Son Mortuary from 1 to 6 today. This listing has been presented as a service of Terpening and Son Mortuary of Artesia, where we make it personal. Well, fog is out there. Let's check the weather, Steve.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure moving in behind a cold front. We may get a few clouds early today, but turning sunny in the afternoon. Pretty comfortable daytime highs in the mid-60s. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we warm up quite a bit tomorrow. We're back to the upper 70s and sunny. Close to 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday, and then we're in the low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Right now in Artesia, we've got 39 degrees and fog. Our humidity is 100%. Dew point is 39 degrees. Winds are from the south-southeast at 5. Pressure 30.31 and rising. The air quality is 27. We have good air quality. Sunset will be at 6:03. Sunrise at 7:19. This is time change weekend this weekend. So for those of you that still have old-fashioned analog clocks, you will have to set everything back an hour. The rest of us all have digital devices that supposedly we've told, change with daylight savings time, and they'll automatically adjust. But it'll be kind of fun. Do you sit back at Sunday morning events and look around to see who's either early or late?
As the person who's usually late, no. Judge not, lest ye be judged, okay?
The wise advice. All right, we're going to be back in just a moment.
In News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. Deere executives said Wednesday that the company would not return to the bargaining table with striking workers who make the iconic John Deere green tractors because it would not offer a better contract than the one they rejected that included immediate 10% raises. Deere & Company officials said the deal the United Auto Workers Union rejected on Tuesday represented the most it could offer and still keep its costs competitive. The daughter of a South Florida county commissioner pleaded guilty Wednesday to stealing $300,000 in COVID-19 relief funds. 28-year-old Damara Holness pleaded guilty in Fort Lauderdale federal court to conspiring to commit wire fraud. She faces up to 20 years in prison. On Wall Street, the Dow up 105 points to close at 36,157. The Nasdaq added 162 to 15,811, and the S&P 500 rose 30 points to 4,660. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham, presented by the Coalition of Christians for Biblical Creation and Brannan Financial Group of Artesia. CCBC is an interdenominational coalition of Christians from Artesia who believe that the account of origins presented in Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events and provides a reliable basis for man's worldview and a framework for scientific investigation into the question of the origin and history of life. For more information, visit our website at www.greenhaw.com/ccbc.htm. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you in part by Brannan Financial Group. Now, today's program presented by Brannan Financial Group of Artesia.
Jesus, the first social justice warrior? This is Ken Ham, and we built a full-size Noah's Ark south of Cincinnati. So-called progressive Christians often treat Jesus like the first social justice warrior. They say he came to end oppression, free the poor, love the outcast, and heal the sick. But is that really what he came to do? Well, read the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Jesus is very clear about his message, and it wasn't a message of freedom from human oppression. It was freedom from sin by repenting and believing in him. Yes, Jesus healed some of the sick in fulfillment of prophecy, but ultimately, he died for our deadly sins. Jesus loved outcasts enough to urge them to repent. He wasn't a social justice warrior. He was the sacrifice as God requires.
Plan your visit to the full-size Noah's Ark at the Ark Encounter when you visit us at AnswersRadio.com. Kids 10 and under are free this year, so bring the family. AnswersRadio.com.
Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We're just talking about technology. When it works, we're happy with it. Let's see. Oh, I need to get this. Excuse me just a second. Let me flip a button there. We have Artesia today, and Ashley Mason is joining us. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
And Nancy Taddick?
Very good.
I got it right, yeah. I can't even read my notes on how I'm supposed to say it, so. So I wrote, I think I wrote, but it could have been, Do you get that a lot, people?
Oh, I get lots of versions.
What's the funniest version?
I get paddock, you know.
Paddock?
Paddock.
Okay.
A lot with the P, like a horse paddock.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But I got that a lot with my maiden name because it was Romine.
Uh-huh.
And they always Romaine. I am not lettuce. I am not an heir to the lettuce empire, thank you.
Let us have a conversation about how to say my name.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, you had to do that kind of stuff. Well, Feed Artesia is coming up, and it's next weekend. That's why you're back to talk about that. And well, where do we want to begin? Where do you want to start?
I want to say we've been doing this for a decade now. So I think this is our 10th year.
Okay.
I was trying to do some research and I fell through, but we've been doing this for I've been in Altrusa for at least 9 years, and we've been doing it for at least 9 years now. So
okay,
it's safe to say they were probably doing it before I got there. So it's our annual food drive. We used to do it on October 23rd, which is National Make a Difference Day. But this year, for Make a Difference Day, we went and played with the animals at the shelter. So
oh, wow.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Did you do some adopting while you were playing with all these animals?
It was really hard not to. It was really hard not to.
Yeah.
I was threatened thoroughly beforehand by my husband.
Don't
bring home any more animals.
I know. We're kind of going through some withdrawals because we used to have. I mean, we've had dogs in the house for years, and the one we had to put down recently, and so we watch a lot of dachshund and beagle videos on YouTube. No cats. So don't even. And then people will call you and say, "Hey, I saw where there's a dachshund over here, or I saw where there's a beagle over here." Don't call.
I need my space
right now. That
right
would be
now.
Very helpful. Well, that was nice that you did that. So you moved the food drive to the 13th of November.
We did.
And who benefits? Where will the food donations be going to?
The food donations will be going to the Artesia Emergency Relief, St. Vincent de Paul, and Packs of Love.
Okay, so those three groups will be getting the food.
Yeah.
And what will you be looking for? What do you want people to bring to you during the food drive?
Yeah.
Well, we will be at Fenn's on the 13th of November from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we are looking for canned goods, dry goods, non-perishable, and toiletries.
Okay. Things that don't have to be refrigerated or preserved or anything like that.
Correct.
That they can be put into the pantry and save for those types of things.
Yes.
I guess when you're at Fenn's, it's real easy for folks just to get a few extra things when they're in the store that day.
That is our goal. We have been very fortunate, and Fenn's has allowed us to set up camp in front of their doors for several years now, and it has worked out really well because it's very convenient, because while people are in, they'll pick up some items and then drop them off with us. So
yeah, well, a lot of people this time of year, I guess, are doing or thinking about Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And so you might get a lot of pumpkin pie filling and canned cranberry.
The season of giving is upon us. We'll take it.
We'll take
it. We're also partnering with the local Girl Scout troop, so we will have adorable little girls there to help us gather donations, which is always, you're more likely to give things to an adorable child than you are to a haggard old lady like me.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody said that. But that would be, I'm sure that is helpful. Because they stand there with a box or a basket or something. And
they make signs for us and posters, and they help us load it all up. And then the Boy Scouts actually come and help us unload.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's very nice of them to do that.
Yeah.
Because you distribute it to these 3 different groups that you're going to distribute the food
Yes.
to.
Yeah.
Now, is it just one day that you're doing the food drive?
So it's just this one day that we're doing the food drive. We try to get it all in one day, and then we will go deliver that same day.
Okay.
Just so there's quick and easy turnaround.
Okay.
So we'll do it on Saturday, and then those food pantries will have that for Monday when it's needed.
When it's needed. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, Altrusas are also known for knife sales.
We are.
Will there be somebody standing there with knives?
Not at this event.
Okay.
No knives at this event. We need to visit about whether or not we've had in the past a booth at Benny's during Light Up Artesia.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to visit about whether or not we want to do that this year. But always, knives are available at Brown Drug.
That's right.
24/7. Well, 24/7 when they're open.
We're not saying which 24 hours.
That's right.
Or which 7 days they're open.
Every day that they're open. They have really good hours, though. I think they're open Monday through Saturday. So
That's true. That's
the
true.
only day you can't get knives is Sunday.
Is Sunday. But you should think ahead, because it's Sunday and you need the knife.
Yeah.
And you think, why didn't I go to Brown Drug and get an Altrusa knife
Absolutely.
earlier in that? Okay, but they won't be
No.
at the food drive.
No knives at the food drive.
Okay.
Just foods. Just food.
Just food. Well, that's good. And you're not sure how many years that this has gone on, but have the donations been consistent over the years? Have they gone up? Have they gone down? What kind of experience have you had with that over the years?
I think it's pretty consistent. We have the best community, and they make giving back easy because everyone is eager to help. But I think that the first time we did it, the first year, right after COVID hit, so that was last year. Gosh, it feels like forever ago.
Yep.
Last year was a little slower, just because of the world we lived in.
Yeah.
But it's been consistent, and Artesia is a great place. Everybody's always so willing to help and hand out. So
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
people are out and about now, too. I think they've kind of moved on for the most part. People are still worried about it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Which is fine. But for the most part, I think people have just kind of moved on. So you'll probably have more foot traffic and activity out there. So when you see the Girl Scout come up to you as you're leaving the store on Saturday, or on the 13th.
On the 13th.
9 to 3. Or when you go into the store and you see all these Altrusans and Girl Scouts and everything, that should prompt you to buy a few extra things to donate to the Altrusa Club. And so remind us again where the donations will be going, what groups are getting the food?
So the donations will go to Packs of Love, St. Vincent de Paul, and the Artesia Emergency Relief.
Okay, and those are all great organizations that help out needy folks here in town. And the list again, can I look at the list, or do you want to give the list?
No, you can hang on to it.
Can I look at the list here? We've got canned goods, dry goods. So that would be...
So usually dry goods is like flour, sugar, anything, those pantry baking staples, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Not syrup.
Not syrup.
That would not be a dry good.
No. But I bet they wouldn't turn down some syrup.
You could buy pancake batter and get some syrup to go with it.
There you go. That would be good. Non-perishables, those would be things that are going to, last forever. Or hopefully. And then toiletries, which hopefully that's not an issue. Supplies in the stores. Hopefully there's lots of toilet paper and paper towels and stuff that are in there.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so,
but one thing that I read recently that you think of but you don't ever really connect it is when you're donating canned goods or non-perishables or anything like that, try to find the pop top or the easy open stuff, because a lot of times people will get canned goods, but if you don't have a can opener to open the can, then it's a useless can of food.
Yeah.
Or I know Packs of Love, a lot of their stuff goes to kids, And so they will ask for easy open, or like the instant macaroni or ramen, or the little cups of peanut butter, or any of that stuff that's easy open and kids can access.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So especially if you're thinking about for the Packs of Love, which, as you said, is for the kids, the easy pop-top stuff. So that'd be good. Artesia Emergency Relief, I think they help out folks when emergency relief when they've had a house, burn or something.
Yeah,
like
house
that.
fires, and I am sure they are there to help whenever needed. But I do think, like, if someone's house burns down, or if they have just something an emergency, they're there to help out.
That's right. And then the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry, they donate to needy folks all the time. They're very helpful in that area. So
yeah, we are very fortunate for such a small community to have so many resources for people.
Yeah. So that'll be next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, November 13th, 9 to 3 at Fenn's Country Market.
Yes.
Look for the Girl Scouts that'll be standing there, encouraging you to participate.
That's right.
And we'll do that. Well, good. Was there anything else with Altrusa that we need to cover today?
Not yet. We'll be back for Smorgasbord when we have it next, in February.
That's
so
right. Yeah, looking forward to that.
You'll hear from us again.
All right. Nancy Taddick and Ashley Mason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is KSVP Artesia. It's 8 o'clock.
I'm Rich Thomason. President Biden doubling down on his agenda despite this week's big Democrat setback in elections in Virginia. In fact, Democrats in Congress adding paid leave and immigration provisions, among other things, to Biden's multi-trillion-dollar domestic agenda.
After a jolting loss in the Virginia gubernatorial election Tuesday night, House Democrats revived key priorities in President Joe Biden's $1.75 trillion social services and environmental bill Wednesday, a new paid family leave program, a state and local tax break, and immigrant work permits were added to the package as Democrats scrambled to deliver on the long-delayed package. The House Rules Committee convened late Wednesday to consider the updated text of the over 2,100-page package. Initial House votes are possible as soon as today. Mike Crossea, Washington.
Former President Trump lamenting the state of the nation under President Biden.
We're not going to have much of a country left, I'm telling you. It's what they're doing with the border is so bad.
And Mr. Trump telling Philadelphia's AM 990 The Answer that he has no doubt Chinese President Xi just biding his time before making a move on Taiwan.
He'll wait till after the Olympics and he'll do something. Okay, he's not going to do it before the Olympics.
Scheduled for February in Beijing. Mr. Trump says when he was behind the Resolute desk, he put Xi on notice, hands off Taiwan. But now
he doesn't respect Biden, and therefore he doesn't respect our country.
Commenting on the polls, Mr. Trump says of Biden, it's hard to believe he's at 38 or 39% support among the American people. OSHA now out with its COVID vaccine rules. Tens of millions of Americans working at companies with 100 or more employees will have to be vaccinated against COVID-19 by January 4th or get tested for the virus weekly. On Wall Street, the Dow down 16 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Why are cash-out refinances such a big deal right now? Uncle Ryan tries to teach me something.
I really feel like right now might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've been doing this for 18 years now, and I've just never seen a market where the rates are so low and values across the country have skyrocketed as much as they have. That combination, I remember one couple in particular, they were looking to do some home improvements at the house, but they were worried about their payments going up. Well, with rates being so low and them building up so much equity in the home over the last few years, we were able to get them the cash out for those home improvements, and their payments actually went down a little bit. Every single situation is different, but it does happen more often than you think. So it definitely does not hurt to call.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The World Health Organization says Europe, once again, the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic, warning the region could see another 500,000 million deaths in the coming 3 months.
He said last week, 59% of all cases globally were in that Europe region, and 48%, so effectively half of all reported deaths. Very bad. He's saying hospitalisation had more than doubled in a week, and that 43 out of the 53 countries will have high or extreme stresses in terms of the number of hospital beds available if things can't continue as they are.
That's the BBC's Danny Aberhart. Britain has granted conditional authorization for the first pill shown to successfully treat COVID-19 so far. It's also the first country to okay the treatment from drug maker Merck, although it's not immediately clear just how quickly the pill will be available in the UK. News and analysis at townhall.com. The armorer on the set of the movie Rust now telling her side of the story.
Hannah Gutierrez Reed is suggesting that someone must have put live ammunition in the gun that Alec Baldwin used to kill cinematographer Helena Hutchins last month. Her lawyer quotes Gutierrez Reed as saying she personally inspected the weapon that ended up in Baldwin's hand that fateful day. The statement also says the armorer inspected the gun before giving it to Assistant Director David Halls, and she says she did it right in front of him. For his part, Halls has said he did not inspect the gun before handing it to Baldwin. I'm Oscar Wells Gabriel.
The critics labeled it an unconstitutional power grab, and Senate Republicans would not stand for it, using the filibuster to derail it. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act has failed to advance in the Senate. It is the latest setback for the Biden agenda. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy. First class there at MIT. Got skills. I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia Radio Show. Hope you're doing well on this foggy Thursday morning. Got some foggy conditions out there, so leave yourself a little extra time on your way to work so that you're not running behind when people slow down. To be careful with the fog. That just would be a good thing to do. Just reading here in the Parade magazine, I guess the next Ghostbusters movie is about to come out, and it's it's not a reboot. There was the all-female cast movie that came out a few years ago, and it really didn't get much support from the Ghostbuster community. It was, I guess, a reboot. There were some cameos in it from the original cast members. Bill Murray had a cameo. I think Aykroyd had a cameo. Who was not in it in the reboot that came out a few years ago? I think most of the original cast had a small cameo in that version. So it seemed like everything was all aligned for that to be a decent movie. They had some pretty popular comedic actresses in the lead roles, and for whatever reason, it just didn't catch. It just didn't take off, and people were kind of upset. And so now This version is being directed by the son of the original director. It was directed and co-written by Jason Reitman. His father, Ivan, helped develop the original Ghostbusters and serves as a producer. Afterlife is going to pay homage to Harold Ramis, who has passed away. He's obviously not... Well, he could be a ghost, I guess. Ramis died in 2014. His character's progeny, a daughter, and her 2 children move into a dilapidated farmhouse bequeathed to them by the late Egon. Soon, strange things, including earthquakes, start happening in their new small town of Somerville, Oklahoma, and the curious kids must unearth Grandpa Egon's past. Joining them is Paul Rudd, playing a teacher and budding seismologist, Mr. Gruberson. And Rudd, who is 52, grew up watching Saturday Night Live and was thrilled to work with Aykroyd, whom he calls comedy royalty. So it seems like this particular version of the Ghostbusters movie is more a continuation of the original series, whereas the one that came out a couple of years ago was we're rebooting it. Here's the new group, and we're going to go in this direction. And it looks like this Ghostbusters Afterlife is an attempt to pick up the timeline in the future. So you've got the granddaughter, the grandkids of one of the original characters that is portrayed, that picks up where they left off, if you will, a generation later from the original series. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but it's going to be coming out here pretty soon. And it's one of those things. I kind of miss the theater here in town. When we had the theater in town, it wasn't an IMAX theater. It wasn't a super duper theater like you see in the big cities with the multi-screens and the giant waiting rooms and the, all kinds of stuff. I mean, they had popcorn. They had the soft drink machine where you could pick your different blend of soft drink. Had the candy bars. I mean, and it was a decent little theater to go watch a movie. And I kind of miss it. It's not here because there have been a couple movies, at least one. I've not yet seen the James Bond movie, which is out, and I kind of want to see that. I've seen every James Bond movie. I'm old, but I wasn't didn't see the original Dr. No in the theaters. I was not old enough to appreciate that, be aware of that. But I am a Bond movie fan, and I've seen all the Bond movies and enjoy watching the Bond movies and know a little bit of trivia about the Bond movies. And so I would like to see the last one that Daniel Craig is in, but I haven't been to the theater to see that because we don't have a theater here, and I just don't travel out as much anymore. And now we got this Ghostbusters movie coming out. I think there's a couple other movies that are coming out that I'd at least like to see and be curious about. So I do kind of miss the fact that we don't have a theater here in Artesia anymore. Some of these movies are out with in conjunction with releases on streaming services. For example, Dune. You can go to Dune in a theater and watch Dune, or you can have, I think, was it HBO Max? If you have an HBO Max subscription, you can watch it. They did that with the Wonder Woman 1984 movie. And I don't know that was such a big deal because that one kind of bombed as well. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's an okay movie, but it's I don't know if I'd go and get HBO Max just so I could watch the Wonder Woman movie. But I don't know about the Dune movie. I've seen some fairly positive reviews of the Dune movie. And Dune was it's a sci-fi cult classic. I never saw it when it was originally released. I think I saw it one time on one of the streaming channels, that it was available on the streaming channel. I thought it was kind of an odd movie. I mean, not a bad movie, just kind of an odd movie. But it's a story that had not been able to be told just because of the depth of the characters and everything that the story needed to include in the story that technically, from a special effects standpoint, was just not real easy to do. And I'm hearing this one does it pretty well. But we don't have a theater to go see it in, so I guess we'll just have to wait for it to be available on Apple Music or iTunes or whatever. All right, 8:13. Let's see what kind of weather we're going to be dealing with. Steve, what do you know?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure moving in behind a cold front. We may get a few clouds early today, but turning sunny in the afternoon. Pretty comfortable daytime highs in the mid-60s. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we warm up quite a bit tomorrow. We're back to the upper 70s and sunny. Close to 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday, and then we're in the low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
41 degrees, foggy conditions on the out of doors here in Artesia, New Mexico. Humidity at 96%. The dew point is 40 degrees. Winds are mostly out of the south, about 6 miles per hour. Pressure at 30.32 and on the rise. Our air quality index is 27. We have good air quality. Got up to 53 the high yesterday, 31 the overnight low. 1 year ago, we had a high of 80 and a low of 55. Minimum 4-inch soil temps around 55 to 58 degrees. The sunset will be at 6:03 today, sunrise at 7:19. With the fog, visibility is 106 yards. So a little over 300 feet is what the visibility is. So drive carefully if you're out and about today with the fog this morning. Around the region, we've got fog and 40 in Carlsbad. What's their visibility? 141 yards. Roswell, mostly cloudy 39, partly cloudy 35 in Hobbs. Sunshine around the rest of New Mexico, 37 in Albuquerque, 34 in Santa Fe, 32 in Cloudcroft, 33 at Ruidoso, 42 in Las Cruces. Mostly sunny, 32 in Farmington, partly cloudy, 27 at Red River, sunny and 36 in Clovis. And when we look over there into the free state of Texas, we see partly cloudy skies and 38 degrees in Lubbock. And again, here in Artesia, we've got the foggy conditions, 41 degrees. Most of Eddy County is in some kind of foggy state this morning. So there you go. Now, I was looking at the box office numbers here. Dune had a weekend gross of $15.4 million, total gross of $69.3, and it's been out 2 weeks. Halloween Kills didn't Jamie Lee Curtis have is she in this one? Let me look here. The saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode continue in the next thrilling chapter of the Halloween series. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Judy Greer is in it. And James Jude Courtney plays The Shape. So, $8.7 million. It's done $85 million to date. It's been out 3 weeks. No Time to Die. That's the James Bond movie. Final one with Daniel Craig, $7.8 million weekend gross. It's done $133 million. And it's been out for 4 weeks now. Robbie Malek is the bad guy in this movie. It's got a 7.5 rating. Let's see. Budget, $250 million. $250 million budget. Opening weekend was $55 million. It's grossed $135 in the U.S., $608 worldwide. So they're well on their way to covering their costs on that one. Dune, I bet that was an expensive movie to make. Let's see if they have the number. 8.2, by the way. So the people that have seen it like it, or at least the people that have seen it that have done some kind of rating thing on the International Movie Database. $165 million budget. So Dune, a sci-fi thriller that has a lot of computer-generated technology and scenery had less of a budget estimated than the James Bond movie. Probably because the actors are not as highly paid as Daniel Craig and some of those folks. Anyway, they've done. It's a $165 million budget. They did $41 million opening weekend. They've done $73 million so far in the U.S., $300 million worldwide. So I think they're going to cover their nut on that one. Next up at the box office is My Hero Academia, World Heroes Mission. That just came out this weekend. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Let There Be Carnage. $5.8 million this weekend, $190 million total gross after 5 weeks out. Antlers. Late Night in Soho. Ron's Gone Wrong. That's an animated movie. $3.7 million weekend total gross, $12 million. It's been out 2 weeks. Is this the same studio that did the Minions? Let's see. Ron's Gone Wrong. 7.2 rating. This is the debut feature of Locksmith Animation. So this is a different animation house than previous. Their no budget is listed, and they've taken in $34 million worldwide. Ron's Gone Wrong. The Addams Family 2 has been out for 5 weeks, and The French Dispatch has been out for 2 weeks. Did $2.6 million this past weekend, $4.5 million total for The French Dispatch. So based on this past weekend's gross, Dune, the #1 movie at the box office, Halloween Kills, #2, No Time to Die 3, and the debut of My Hero Academia, World Heroes Mission, followed by Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's been out 5 weeks. I don't know. Have you seen Dune? Have you seen any of these? You're here. Okay, good deal. We're going to take a break. Our next guest coming up. Don't go away.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose. But you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Sandy Stockton will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family, no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you'd do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Sandy Stockton in Artesia today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When I was young, I thought I had forever to prepare for retirement. But as the years went by, retirement got closer and closer. Well, I wish I'd have started saving 10 years earlier.
How you spend your retirement depends on what you do now while you're still working. We've helped a lot of area seniors prepare for retirement. Stop in and see us about saving for yours. Western Bank of Artesia. We're big on you. Member FDIC.
When you have that once-in-a-lifetime hunt, depend on the quality of out-of-this-world taxidermy for custom mounting and the creation of your original trophy. Attention to detail and passion for the work is what sets out-of-this-world taxidermy apart. Relive the excitement with custom mounts and professional quality. Wherever your travels take you, Out of This World Taxidermy will accept your trophy shipments. Out of This World Taxidermy. Call today, 622-3640. Visit online, outofthisworldtaxidermy.com.
Chevrolet Company in Artesia is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. From GM certified service and parts, body and paint repairs, to a great lineup of new Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC models, along with our hand-picked selection of new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs, we've got you covered. We invite you to come see us today for excellent customer service and the hassle-free buying experience you deserve. You'll find us right here on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia, where we've sat proudly for almost 97 years, or at GuyChevy.com.
Back on Good Morning Artesia, and Captain James Moore from the Eddy County Sheriff's Department is with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are into November already. Can you believe it?
Christmas will be here before you know it.
I know it. Have you done all your Christmas shopping?
Yes.
You have?
I have.
What'd I get? Or what am I getting?
It'll be a surprise.
I need to starting to think about maybe getting ready for Christmas shopping. But, you get into November and then all of a sudden, the food drives start. And I was at First Baptist Church yesterday because we're getting their video stream back. So they'll be streaming their service this Sunday from their newly remodeled sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
And we were testing video and different things like that, and it was the Operation Christmas Child, the Christmas boxes that people fill and send off to other countries. And so I got to see that video 4 times. So I'm like, well, maybe I ought to go get a box. But it is that time of year, and so people need to start thinking about that from a at the sheriff's department, from a crime standpoint, or what you guys work on. Do you see any differences in the levels of crime or type of crimes around this time of year versus other times of the year?
Yes, traditionally we see a rise in property theft. Home burglaries and things like that, automobile burglaries, especially at the, you go to your local store and people leave their cars unlocked, or they leave a bag or something in the car that attracts attention. We typically see more of that this time of year than we do other times.
Mm-hmm. So don't leave your car unlocked.
Right.
Would be a first good step.
Especially if it's running.
Yeah. Now I wonder, I have the type of vehicle that you can double hit and it'll start and it'll run for a period of time, but there's no key.
Right.
So even if they see it running, in theory, they can't do anything with it. They can't go anywhere with it. But I don't know how creative some of these people are if they figured out a way to bypass that type of system.
I'm sure, but we haven't seen, to my knowledge, we haven't seen that here where the auto start.
Mm-hmm.
Because the auto start, you shouldn't be able to engage the gear select.
Right. They did something else to my truck recently in an upgrade. It used to be that if I was backing up to get to the trailer or something like that, sometimes I'd have the door open and kind of use that to help. And now in my truck, they did an upgrade recently in the software of the truck, and now as soon as that door opens, transmission locks down.
From what I understand, the reasoning behind a lot of that is that they're having these gear selects that are electric instead of manual.
Right.
So sometimes people hit the button and they think that they're in park and they're not.
Right.
That's my understanding for the reasoning behind that.
Yeah. Well, see, that could have helped me like a long time ago. Did I tell you the story?
No.
No. I went out to get the car for the family, bring it around front so we can all go to church. And we had a bad spot on the starter solenoid. So sometimes you turn the key and nothing would happen. So we had a wooden handled screwdriver and we'd pop the hood and we'd, short the solenoid to move it, and then the car would start. So I get into the car, I start to back out, the engine dies. I think I put it in park, but it's still in reverse. Of course, it won't start. So I get out, get the screwdriver, hit the solenoid, car starts up and goes out the garage.
It was ready for church.
It was ready for church. Hooks the door.
Of course.
Door bends backwards, the glass goes push. And so I've got a torn up door and no window. So that would not happen in a modern day vehicle now.
You would think not.
Yeah, but yeah, so maybe it's because of me, something I did a long time ago. That was one of my 2 stupid moves that I did in a car.
Well, I know from reading about years past in the 60s, I believe, Dodge had the push-button transmission.
Mm-hmm.
And there were several people that were ran over by their cars with that push-button transmission.
Yeah.
So maybe now that they've gone basically back to the push-button,
with the knob,
new and inventive, even though it's back from the 60s.
Yeah. Lana's dad used to have a Plymouth Valiant that had the push-button transmission on it. So He really liked that car. I didn't particularly care for it because it was a rust bucket.
Right.
You know, we grew up in the Midwest. But in any case, lock your cars. Don't leave stuff open in the car because that's just tempting to people that walk through parking lots.
Putting your credit card in the cup holder or change, dollar bills, what have you, that's just tempting.
Yeah, and people will come along and see that. The first thing they'll do is try the door lock, and then if it's open, you know, it's gone.
It's gone.
And that's a good thing to be aware of. Oil field looks like it's picking back up again.
It has.
And are we seeing some more crime activities associated with that, or is it about the same?
We don't have any new trends that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, there's always things happening out there, but no trends that are extremely alarming. Traffic's picking back up, especially this time of year. We ask that people really pay attention. Like this morning with the fog, give yourself a couple extra minutes to get to where you're going and pay attention.
Yeah. High beam, low beam.
Right.
First car I drove, the high beam switch was on the floorboard.
Of course. That's where it should be.
That's where it should be. That's right. And they're not anymore. They're somewhere on the stock.
That way, if you have your Dr. Pepper in your left hand, you can still work your high beam switch.
Dr. Pepper, that's right. It better be a Dr. Pepper. So, no, you probably see a little uptick in accidents and stuff like that from people not paying attention in the fog.
Yes, we do. As far as I know, this morning's been pretty good. But yes, when we have fog and people don't slow down, you tend to have accidents.
Sure. Now, the sheriff, when he's been on before, he's talked about the Sheriff's Department involvement with the drug task force. Matter of fact, that's where the sheriff is today, is at a
HIDA. He's at a HIDA meeting, yes.
HIDA meeting. And that has been a concern of law enforcement here for a little while now. What are we seeing? What are the trends that you're seeing with the drug trafficking and so forth that's coming through Eddy County?
Well, as we all know, fentanyl is a real problem. It's really increasing. Our drug task force has been extremely successful compared to others in the region and area. We've managed to take a good bit off of the street, but that's just a dent. It's hard to say, oh, we got 10%, or because we don't know the full amount, but we know that it's not all of it, obviously, and it's, even though we've caught quite a bit, it's still a small dent in the.
How do you know what it might be if you come across fentanyl? How is it generally, for lack of a better word, packaged?
What we're seeing right now are pills.
Okay.
We're seeing it in pill form.
And they look like any other.
They look like pills.
They
just
look
regular medication.
Yeah, and they're pretty toxic, aren't they?
Yes, they're very toxic and easily to overdose.
So, just coming in contact with it or touching the pills, can that be hazardous?
It depends on if it's in the pure state or not, but it's always better not to touch any of that because it can, and you don't want to find out the hard way.
Right.
So if you see something, if you come across something, let's say you're emptying your trash and you find something in the alley, it's better not to pick it up with your bare hands. And even fentanyl in the pure state can go through some rubber gloves. So we have to use nitrate gloves. We can't use latex gloves for our folks anymore. And it's pretty nasty.
Yeah. And I guess it's coming from China through Mexico. Is that predominantly where it's coming from?
That's what I understand, yes.
Okay. Well, I was just kind of curious because once I got in trouble, I didn't get in trouble, I got laughed at because when I first moved to Mississippi, I'm from Iowa. When we needed aspirin, we got a pill, right? I didn't know anything about headache powders. So I found some headache powders. I didn't know they were headache powders. So I called, and then got laughed at, son, you've discovered headache powder. So that's why I'm just kind of curious, how would you know, or how would you suspect that maybe you've come across something like that? I guess if they're not in properly labeled.
Right, if they're not in a properly labeled bottle or what have you, if you find a Ziploc bag with the substance in it, that's usually a clue. And we're not going to laugh at you much if you bring something in, like call us about something like that.
Like BZ powder?
Well, it's some pixie dust or something.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. And we realize, and we know that the public, there's stuff out there that I don't even know what it is, and you come across it and you're like, man, what is this? So we don't expect the public to be an expert on anything. So if you see something suspicious, don't be afraid to call us.
Yeah, and but I think that would be the first clue, like you say, if it's in an unlabeled container.
Unlabeled container, yes.
Yeah. And I guess it would get out there because maybe somebody is suspicious that they're about to get stopped or confronted by law enforcement, and so they'll
toss it.
They'll toss it. So it's probably not good for pets either.
No, it's not. It's not good for much of anything.
Yeah.
Other than its intended purpose.
Right, which is not good in heavy doses of it, or extreme doses of it. So that's pretty crazy. I know Eddie County, we had Commissioner Fred Beard yesterday. He said the county has not yet voted on their marijuana ordinance. I think most of the other entities around have pretty well passed those things. From a law enforcement perspective, what kind of is there training that you're going through right now? I know there's not a lot of advice from the state coming down to help.
There's not a lot of advice from the state, and there's really no training really required in that area, other than what the law itself, possession over a certain quantity. You get over, 2 ounces possession, I believe, or something to that nature. Then it becomes a law enforcement issue for the state of New Mexico. And providing that they don't have a grower, you
have to ask a lot more questions, right?
Right. You just can't. Before, when I started, if someone rolled down the window and it was like Cheech and Chong and the smoke comes out, you smell the marijuana, that was, hey, we got something going on here. Well, now, if you smell marijuana, you just smell marijuana. It's not...
Right. Because right now there's laws on the books and enforcement efforts on alcohol, driving under the influence of alcohol. Do we know yet if under the influence of marijuana will fall under that category?
Well,
or is
it
that
already
going to be held
does.
out separately?
It already does.
Okay.
It falls. The statute actually reads alcohol or narcotic. So if you're impaired, it's just being impaired by drug or alcohol.
Okay.
They broke it down. I know a lot of people say, well, alcohol is a drug or whatever. However, by statute, you have to be specific, and they broke it down. So it's already been on the books for many years now. So if we pull over a car and we smell marijuana, it would be almost the same as smelling beer now. Having a beer is not illegal, provided you're the right age and things. So you would have to proceed with your investigation over, does the driver appear to be impaired? Was his driving, the reason why you stopped them, indicate impairment, and you would have to proceed in that manner.
Now, there's a series of things that law enforcement can do to determine if there is alcohol impairment. Are there similar type things to determine narcotic impairment?
Yes, there is.
I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but I'm just kind of, you guys, your department, your police, sheriff, having to enforce these things,
Yes, but it's a little more entailed.
Okay.
But yes, there is.
Okay. It's not like walking the straight line or touching your nose to your
that's partly
finger to your nose.
included.
That's
yes,
partly
because
included.
you have to be able to show that you have a motor skill function.
Okay. That's interesting. So I guess that's where. But you say these have already been on the books.
Yes.
So that aspect of it doesn't change.
No, it does not.
But the possession of it
Right. The possession of the actual substance is what has changed.
Is what has changed. And there's limits, different limits and different permits. And
right.
Yeah. Interesting. Having to go through all that.
It's definitely an interesting time.
Yeah. Staffing wise, how's the Sheriff's Department doing right now?
We're actually doing quite well. However, we have a lot of scheduled retirements coming up in the next year, so we will again continue our hiring process. So if anyone is out there that is interested in a career in law enforcement, please contact us and we will be glad to assist you in filling out an application or whatever you need.
Okay. Is there I know young people primarily are the ones that consider doing this and starting their career, but is there an older, is there an upper age or an upper limit?
There is not. We do not age discriminate.
Well, I wasn't asking that specifically.
Well, I have to say that. No, as long as you can meet the standards for the state, and age is not, the only requirement on age is that you have to be able to turn 21 years of age at the academy.
Okay.
That is the only age requirement that we have. Beyond that, as long as you can meet the standard and pass whatever is required by the state, you can be hired.
Okay. Has there been some interest from people in other parts of the country that are going through some of their defund the police issues, if you will, that have inquired about law enforcement agencies like the Eddy County Sheriff's Department?
We have not received any applications from like Minneapolis or anything like that. No, we have not.
Okay.
If you're going to come from a major metropolitan, the idea of, waking up one morning and saying, I'm going to go to Eddy County, that's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
However, we have recruited people from outside the state before, and usually they have a reason to come here or something. But we have received other people from other agencies within the state that are coming out of a pretty liberal area.
Yeah. But that doesn't appear to be the mentality in this part of the state. For generally, law enforcement is supported in this part of the state. So,
right.
Which is a good thing if you're in law enforcement.
It's a very good thing. And we appreciate that. And we want to try to keep the public trust, and we appreciate their support.
Very good. Well, is there anything else we need to cover today, or?
No, not that I'm aware of. We just want everybody to be safe, have a safe holidays, and, if you drink or smoke marijuana, don't drive.
Yeah.
And
that'd be a good thing.
Yes.
And if someone does want to inquire about the positions that are coming up or applying for a job with the Sheriff's Department, where's the best place to go to do that?
They can go to the Eddy County website, and there'll be a link there. They can call. They can come down. We'll be glad to help them any way we can.
Very good. Captain James Moore, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
You too.
I don't see you before then, and take it easy out there. All right, we're going to take a break and see what else is happening out there. We'll be right back.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A ceremony is planned for Friday to honor everyone involved in the planning and construction of the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center. A plaque will be unveiled recognizing those who played a role. The Friday ceremony takes place at 2 p.m. at the center at 1042 West College Boulevard in Roswell. Youth and adult ceramics classes for the winter term are scheduled to start in January at the Roswell Museum and Arts Center. Registration is now available through the museum's website. That's roswellmuseum.org. Students may also register on the phone. That's 575-624-6744, or in person during their normal hours. The youth classes will focus on coil and slab building techniques. The Roswell Museum and Arts Center is located at 1011 North Richardson Avenue, just north of the Roswell Convention Center. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. Why do these games have to be so close? Because it's a state soccer semifinal. Yesterday, the Carlsbad Cave Girls, in pursuit of a back-to-back championship, they defeated La Cueva, visiting La Cueva. Final score 1-0. The only goal came in the 58th minute. It was, as you might predict, the Dugan sisters for Carlsbad that teamed up of senior Alexa Alyssa had the assist, and her younger sister, freshman Abby, scored the goal. 1-0 is the final score. Carlsbad's now 20-2 on the season. That was only La Cueva's third loss of the season. 2 of them came to Carlsbad. Carlsbad plays in Albuquerque Friday for the championship against top-seeded Cibola, which defeated Hobbs 3-1 yesterday. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio AM 990.
Hey everyone, with today's Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Dallas is making a patriotic change to its uniform for Sunday's Salute to Service game. Details after this.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, and get an exclusive DCU fan pack and member benefits. Dallas Cowboys United members receive exclusive access to virtual content, Cowboys Pro Shop discounts, early entrance to select Cowboys events, VIP experiences, and more. Memberships start at only $20. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United to join today. That's DallasCowboys.com/United.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
The Cowboys will salute our military and officially launch the effort to build our country's new National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington by making a change to their uniform during this Sunday's Salute to Service game. For the first time since 1976, when we celebrated our nation's bicentennial, the Cowboys are wearing a red stripe on their helmet. Equipment Director Mike McCord knows players will be excited about the patriotic look.
Yeah, they're like kids in a candy store. It's just there's so many players that we've had come through here who have been part of military families, whether it's their mother, their father, their uncle, their grandfather, or whatever. And we've always tried to accommodate that because, you know, it's important for them to honor the family members that have served this country for us all. So I think that's a big part of it.
With the Boys at the Star, I'm Christy Scales.
We're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Again, thanks to Captain James Moore from the Eddy County Sheriff's Department, filling in for the sheriff today. And the thing with the drugs is just very interesting because parents and adults get some information on what to look for when it comes to drugs that may be a part of what your kids are dealing with, and fentanyl is the latest. So I thought I was just kind of curious, what does that look like? Because I don't want another BC powder situation going on there. So anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with Carol right after this. So don't go away, folks.
Does your insurance agent treat you like family?
Insurance Corporation is programmed to build interpersonal relationships with members of family units. We communicate on a four-name basis with all customer numbers.
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years at Farm Bureau Financial Services, we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
I'm Brandon Williams, Artesia's local Farm Bureau agent. Call us today, 746-2171.
Hi, Cambria here from the Artesia KFC Taco Bell. As a mother of 2 young boys, I know how hard dinner time can be. So let us take the stress out of your day and do the cooking for you. Come try our $35 fill-up meal. It includes 8 pieces of original recipe chicken, 10 extra crispy tenders, sides, biscuits, and a half-gallon of lemonade or Pepsi. It's everything you need for a complete family picnic. We hope to see you soon at your local Artesia KFC Taco Bell.
The lobby is open. Come dine with us at your KFC Taco Bell in Artesia.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Rich Thomason. A mixed picture on Wall Street at mid-morning. The market near record highs after the Fed announced it will start scaling back its monthly bond purchases aimed at helping the pandemic-stressed economy. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell to a fresh pandemic low last week. down 14,000 to 269,000. The U.S. trade deficit hit an all-time high of $80.9 billion in September. Exports fell sharply while imports kept rising despite supply chain issues. Moderna expects full-year product sales of between $15 billion and $18 billion, down from a prediction of $20 billion in sales that the drug maker issued in August. Moderna expecting fewer COVID vaccine deliveries this year than previously estimated. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Time for our weekly update on what's happened at the Artesia Senior Center. Carol Goss is with us. Good morning to you.
Good morning. And if you're willing to take that wager on what I'm going to say first, you're going to lose it this morning. We forgot to put time change. So I want to remind all the seniors that this weekend is time change. It's not on your calendar, but we will have it on next year's calendar. We changed our format a little bit, and it just didn't get transferred.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because I keep telling people you're going to have to set your clocks back. And then I have to remind myself that I'm probably one of the few people that has analog clocks all throughout the whole building that have to be changed. So much of what we have today with the technology, the computers and the phones, they all, and a lot of vehicles now will automatically change.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep thinking there's still somebody out there with a VCR that's still flashing zeros. You know,
I have a VCR, but it's not even plugged in. But it's because we have some of those kids' videos that we still haven't transferred to something more modern. And I think, and then I had somebody call about 4 or 5 months ago and wanted to know if they could borrow it.
Oh, wow.
Because they wanted to watch. And I was like, come get it. It's just dusted off.
Yeah, and if it never comes back.
Well, it came back.
Oh, okay.
It came back. It came back.
Well, good. So time change weekend is this weekend. We fall back 1 hour either before you go to bed Saturday night or when you get up Sunday morning.
And if you have trouble remembering fall in the fall, spring in the spring.
That's right.
I can remember that as a kid. My grandmother teaching me that.
Yep.
The other thing I want to be sure and mention before we get started is this Saturday, November the 6th, 11 a.m., Moose Lodge.
Oh, yeah, there it is right there.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing Thanksgiving dinner this
yes.
time. So that's good.
And I'm ready.
I love turkey.
I like the dressing.
Yeah, the dressing's good. Mm-hmm. On the cranberry sauce, do you have to have it homemade, or is shoving it out of the can okay?
Okay, out of the can. Is it gelled or is it with the berries?
Gelled.
Yes. My husband, homemade.
Homemade, yeah. I mean, everybody has a little different deal, but I just enjoy cutting the top of the can, cutting the bottom of the can, and just pushing it out onto the plate and go, here we go.
And make real pretty little slices, you know, and it lays back and looks like you've really done something.
I've worked hard on this.
Yes. And then I like the brown and serve rolls, you know, because they're hard to make.
That's right.
But I make little sandwiches with that cranberry sauce. I just love a brown and serve roll with cranberry sauce.
It's good times.
And dark meat. Now, I'm a dark meat person.
Okay. It doesn't matter to me.
I mean, I'll eat either one, but my husband has to have the white meat, so
okay.
It's just
well, then it works.
Easier at the house. I don't care which one I get, so it's easier that way.
There you go. So Thanksgiving dinner
at
Saturday.
The Moose.
At the Moose, 11 a.m.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it's for all the seniors.
Now, do they need to make a reservation or check with you?
Not that they've told us.
Okay.
No, this is strictly through the Moose, and we just help them promote it because it does benefit so many of our seniors.
Okay.
It really does. So you get a good hot meal, a nice environment, and I haven't had the opportunity to go, but I understand they remodeled the inside of the Moose like maybe a year ago or so.
Okay.
And that it's really nice.
We know when they're cooking outdoors because it's right across the street. No, that's the Elks.
That's the Elks.
The Moose is
out on Main Street.
West. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, very good. So I hadn't been out there either, so I don't.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So, my normal 9 o'clock painting. There I am looking at that clock. And we have a clock in every room that's analog at the senior center.
Mm-hmm.
Every room. They're big, huge clocks, you know, for visual.
Yep.
But they're going to be doing their painting. I hope some show up. It's kind of quiet in there when I left this morning compared to most mornings. But I think that's probably the fog.
The fog, yeah. A little foggy weather.
Yes. And then those that want to play bridge will have bridge at 1 o'clock. The Open Art Studio, they, again, like I told you last week, they are taking advantage of that, staying and working on different projects. Some are painting with magic markers. Some are painting with colored pencils. Some are acrylics, watercolor. Until I started working there, didn't know the difference in everything. So,
but now you do.
I'm not a painter, house or canvas. House or canvas. Let's just get that real clear right now.
Well, that reminds me. I don't know if you remember the comedian Stephen Wright has the real dry one-liner jokes. He said at one time, "It's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it."
Oh, ditto. Ditto. I need to write that one down. Sweetest Weaving this afternoon at 1:30. And then the Texas Hold'em is at 2. But I was going to remind everybody, guys, it's a little chilly out there if you're planning on playing on the patio. Bring a little thicker jacket than you brought last week, maybe.
Okay.
Unless the sun comes out and it really warms up. That exercise video, again, is available at 4. The Creative Crafters, that's on Monday. It's on Fridays at 9, and then on Mondays at 9. So you can work on anything you want. Hand and Foot, Friday at 10 o'clock. And that's not get your foot out of your mouth with your hand. That is a card game.
That's funny. Do you still get a question or two?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, we do. It's amazing.
Yep.
Bridge, again, Friday at 1 for those that want to play. Also, it's going to be a little chilly, so I wouldn't bring a coat. Don't bring those thin sweaters you've been bringing. You're going to need a little something thicker or play inside. Bingo, 1:30. Everybody loves bingo. And I'm shaking my head no at Gene. I can do bingo about once every 3 or 4 years. Sewing at 1:30. So come down, do your sewing. Then again, remind the Moose, Saturday at 11 on the 6th. Monday, exercise video, the Creative Crafters, train dominoes. We were teaching 2 new people yesterday train dominoes.
Okay.
So it's never too late to come in to learn, because we can just put you in with the pros and they help you, or put you with the beginners and the pros will help you anyway.
I bet they do.
But they do. Sewing at 1:30, and that exercise video again is available at 4. Monday, on the 8th, is going to be macrame. She's changed her day from 10 to 11:30. Made some really neat things last month.
Okay.
Really interesting. And she brings most of the material, for your first learning project.
Okay.
So come down and enjoy. On Tuesday, woodworking. Smelt that yesterday. Somebody was in there doing some woodworking, and I was like, oh, it smells like Ruidosa. I mean, to me, this cold weather. The line dancing, your intermediate, is Tuesdays at 9:30. Bridge again, 1 o'clock. Bring those jackets. Sewing and ceramics, 1:30 on Tuesdays. And stained glass is at 6:30.
Okay.
Tuesday night. Go in the back door.
Now, on the 9th, Tuesday, is that also your J&J folks?
That's where I got my finger on it, so I didn't forget.
Okay.
Hey, we have the free watch batteries on the 9th. That's Tuesday the 9th, and we have had to limit that to 2.
Okay.
Don't bring that bag of 20 watches. 2 watches.
Okay.
And then remind everybody that J&J Home Care is back. And they're doing, I call it the little mini physical we couldn't do without J&J Home Care. Those nurses are so awesome.
Yep.
Besides taking everything that I tell y'all, if one of the seniors has an issue, they listen and help them. Like if they have a spouse that's needing home care or needing something, they're right there for them. So J&J Home Care, 10 o'clock, blood pressures. Most important thing I need to talk about, because we might not get to do our other, is the 10th.
Okay.
That's Wednesday the 10th at 9 o'clock. The Medicare questions and answers.
Okay.
You know, that started, and they act like it's right now. You have till December the 7th to make your final decision.
Okay.
So we've called in a couple of insurance agents that we really trust, that we've had there in the past. They're going to be there Wednesday at 9 o'clock. They're going to talk about this Medicare Advantage and help people understand, is it really for you?
Okay.
For some people it is, for some people it's not. But you know, the advertisements on TV look so good.
Mm-hmm.
And last year we had a couple of seniors get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Because people call on the phone, tell them what all they can offer them, and they switched, and
didn't turn out good.
No.
Okay.
No. So my thing is, please come down next Wednesday, 9 o'clock on the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting that backwards. Wednesday the 10th.
Okay.
9 o'clock. And they're going to be there as long as we have questions.
Okay, we've got about a minute left.
Okay.
All right.
I wanted to be sure before, I want to remind everybody, Veterans Day is next Thursday, a week from today. So be thinking about your veterans, who you want to call. I used to call a certain one every year, and he passed away.
Oh. So you need another one to call.
Well, I call the ones that I knew about back then, and then as my list started growing more and more and more. So,
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Who is the first, or since how long has it been since this NFL team had a red stripe on their helmet?
Red stripe on their helmet. Red stripe on their helmet? Not the Falcons.
The Cowboys. I just heard it on your radio. It was one of your little.
You know, they're making a change for the uniform.
And it said they hadn't done that since 77.
77. I'll have to go back and see if I can find some pictures of uniforms back then. That's kind of like this year. We have black on the Bulldog uniforms on the shoulders, and it's been a long time
since we had
black in the uniforms. Usually orange and white.
Orange and white.
Yeah. So. I'll have to look and see. Red? That doesn't seem like that would match.
It's striped for your veterans.
Well, I know that's a good reason to do it. Yeah, but I don't.
Well, blue.
With the blue
red,
and
white, and blue. Come on, works
yeah,
for
but
me.
It's a different blue. The Cowboys blue is a different blue.
You still bleed American, red, white, and blue.
I understand. And
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Carol, and have a great week. Okay. All right. Let's see what's left of the news.
I mean, in California, it just hit $7.70 a gallon for gasoline.
Mr. Trump speaking with Philadelphia's AM 990, The Answer. Tens of millions of Americans working at companies with 100 or more employees will have to be vaccinated against COVID-19 by January 4th or get tested for the virus weekly. The new government rules issued just this morning. OSHA says companies failing to comply could face penalties of almost $14,000 per violation. Florida's Republican governor looking to put some teeth into the state's election integrity laws.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Wednesday he plans to create a law enforcement agency to investigate election crimes. Speaking at an event in West Palm Beach, the Republican governor announced a series of state election law proposals for state lawmakers to take up during the 2022 legislative session. Proposals include new restrictions on ballot drop boxes and strengthened penalties for ballot harvesting, which is the collection of completed ballots by a third party. DeSantis is up for re-election in 2022, and he could be a GOP presidential candidate in 2024. I'm Mike Gracia.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment fell 14,000 last week, hitting a pandemic low 269,000. Wall Street, the Dow is down 82 points, NASDAQ 126 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives.
I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Britain, the first country to okay a pill to treat COVID-19.
The United Kingdom has granted a conditional authorization to Merck's coronavirus antiviral. The pill is the first of its kind shown to successfully treat COVID-19. The pill, known as molnupiravir, is intended to be taken at home over a period of 5 days for people with mild to moderate COVID-19. It has been proven to reduce symptoms and speed recovery, which would be groundbreaking for health systems around the world. Karen Shamas, London.
Urgent new efforts to calm Ethiopia's escalating war are unfolding as a U.S. special envoy arrives, and the president of neighboring Kenya called for an immediate ceasefire while the country marks 1 year of conflict. Lack of dialogue, especially disturbing, according to Kenyan President Kenyatta, as the war has killed thousands and displaced millions since November of 2020, threatens to engulf the capital. Townhall.com. It is a mixed picture on Wall Street this morning after the Fed announced it will start dialing back the extraordinary economic aid it has provided since the pandemic erupted last year.
The policy shift is a response to high inflation that now looks likely to persist longer than it did just a few months ago. In a statement after its latest policy meeting, the Fed said it will start reducing its $120 billion in monthly bond purchases in the coming weeks by $15 billion a month, though it did reserve the right to change that pace. Those purchases have been intended to hold down long-term interest rates to encourage borrowing and spending. With the economy recovering, Fed regulators now say it's no longer needed. Bob Agnew reporting.
Expecting to make fewer COVID vaccine deliveries this year than first thought, drug maker Moderna now looks for product sales of $15 billion to $18 billion the current year. That's several billion below its previous predictions. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy.
My class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have a great
Welcome back to the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We are back, and it is time to continue with more guests.
Oh, my. I'm a guest?
You're a guest.
I'm a guest.
Yes. How are you doing this morning? Lindsay Waugh from the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. Hi.
I'm doing pretty well. A little tired, you know. We just got done accepting a bunch of stuff, the entries for the pop-up art, so we'll see what art comes in. Well, we haven't gotten the art in yet. They have till next Friday to turn it in, but we have...
Did you have a good number of folks sign up?
27 artists with 43 entries, which is, I think, about possibly double the amount of artists about, and almost triple the amount of art entries. And I'm really excited because we've got a lot of kids entered, so I can't wait to see what they come up with.
So the prompt went out.
The prompt went out.
So now that's public knowledge.
It is public knowledge.
So what was, may I ask what the prompt was?
The prompt was culture.
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 Well, that's pretty vague.
Well, it's supposed to be.
What do you guys do? Watch Wheel of Fortune?
Sure, why not? No, okay, so it wasn't just, oh, here's the prompt and it's culture. I gave a little description, which I should have brought that with me.
That's okay.
And basically it was just kind of, I gave the definition of culture and then talked about how, like a tree, its deep roots run deep within all of us, and how, it could be anything from like ancient cultures that you're really interested in to like, hey, your local community, and like, for instance, hey, football's a whole culture in this town, right? So
yes.
Sports in general. School in.
This is a coordinated monthly test of the broadcast stations in our area. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. If this had been an actual emergency such as flash flood, fire, or tornado, official messages would have followed this alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
So for the folks that were watching online, I was pointing at the equipment being tested.
Oh, man, that's funny.
I knew that was happening today. I just don't remember thinking about it this morning. But you were so rudely interrupted by the equipment being tested. I'm so sorry.
What did I say? I said, dang that big blue box over there. Okay, so I forgot I can access the culture. So culture defined as the customs, art, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group.
Okay.
Like the roots of a large tree, culture runs deep in each of us, reflected in so many different facets of our history and lives. It provides an opportunity to connect with our ancestors. It also gives us a chance to explore and appreciate other cultures we find fascinating, from vast ancient civilizations to modern geographical areas of various countries to your hometown. We want to see what culture means to you. Express it through your media and art. Explore through color, language, history, symbols, etc. Make it fun. Make it educational. Parents are also encouraged to help kids if they need it. Let's see what you've got.
All right. So
that's the official prompt for the 2021 All Media
pop-up art show. And then all of the entries will be on display at the Ocotillo?
Yep, and then they'll be down at the 510 Gallery for the month of December.
Okay. And then will the public judge these, or do you have a panel that will be judging these?
No panel. It is all people's choice.
Okay.
We will have pictures on the Facebook page of each individual entry. They'll be grouped into age categories.
Okay.
And so you can come in. We'll have boxes if you want to come in person and check everything out, and just don't touch the art, please. I say that, but then I'm the klutzy one here. And I probably shouldn't admit that out loud. Now all of my past artists and future artists are like, nope, we're not doing this anymore, Lindsay. I'm sorry, because you're going to drop our stuff and break it. But no, I'm kidding.
They may already know.
So,
you know.
Also, look, I'm magic. I summoned Candace.
Yeah. Can't have morning.
How you
it's
doing?
All right. You're allowed to have mornings.
Well, 5-year-old's not like wanting to like get up and get ready. And then
Mine's the opposite.
We have a private sitter on Tuesdays, Thursdays. So that means they go places, they do stuff, so they need a car seat. Well, my husband ran off with the car seat. So thankfully we just bought a new booster seat because he's getting of weight. So I was able to use that. So I was in the process. I had to put it together. So there's a new fangled booster seats. They used to just be like a thing. Now they have a back with some stuff, and it was a lot. So I was like, oh my gosh, get in the car.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Are we late?" I was like, "I am late." And so like, I was like, "Just take your things and go inside."
Yeah. Are we late? Yeah. Well, I guess he was recognizing the stress level.
Oh yeah.
That he was observing that was going on, and yes, we're late, and it's your fault.
No, I said I am late. I did not blame him. I said, "Mom is now late. I just need you to move." Funnily enough, I think the definition of my parenting style, I guess, is gentle parenting, and it's not necessarily that I'm like, "Oh, you poor thing." It's more of I talk to him in a like normal tone, and I'm like, "Okay, so what are the consequences of your actions?"
Yeah.
And so usually I try to explain. I was like, "We just have to get going in the morning. Me fighting with you every day about where you do not want to go makes me stressed out and you stressed out. It's not productive."
Well, this everybody has.
Well, God bless her, because I'm definitely a parenting product of my raising.
There you
Get
go.
your little butt in the car.
I just remember Lana telling the story that her dad said out loud and very sternly, "If I catch you with a cigarette, I'm going to take it out of your mouth and burn it into your arm."
Woo.
And she has never smoked.
No, you.
My mom had a saying, and we always knew it was time to either shut up, quit fighting with each other and stuff, or smarten back or whatever, when she said this: "Do not make me embarrass you in front of God and everybody."
Oh, there you go.
Embarrass you.
Yeah. No.
I always knew I was in trouble when the word Eugene came out of my parents' mouth. Then I knew, okay,
Oh no. Yeah, you're all like, "Oh, I'm in trouble."
I'm in trouble now. Well, I knew I was in trouble. I just realized I had been caught.
Yes.
When the word Eugene came out.
I can't remember which church. It was maybe a First Christian church or a Baptist church that my mom and grandmother were going to at the time, because I was mostly an only child. I'm mostly an only child. I was 15 years of an only child from a single parent. And the church gave them a small, medium, and large size paddle.
I love it.
And if I was in trouble and I found the small paddle that had the others, like my gran would make, she was Southern, she'd make a switch out anything. So yeah, I did things once, and that was good enough. Like it was good enough.
So, well, we're not parenting Artesia today. We just want people to come and participate in the pop-up.
Well, yes, the parents, yes, who probably have the same stresses that we do as parents, want to come and do fun things with their kids that aren't stressful.
Absolutely. Watch out for the photos on the Facebook page and come vote.
Okay.
Let's support our local artists, guys.
That's right.
So, Candace, what else do we have going on?
We're starting the month of November now. We're already, what is today, the 4th?
Yes,
we're already the 4th day of November. So what's your November calendar looking like?
Well, we do have a sponsored balloon for Balloons and Tunes this weekend.
Good, okay.
So come out and enjoy the balloon. It's early in the morning, so bundle up, because apparently this is our weather heading into the weekend.
I hope not.
Well, I mean the cool temperature, not the fog.
Dick Van Dyke popped into my head, winds in the east, mist coming in.
Saturday is 39, 77. Guess which one is the high? And then Sunday is 42 and
Well, depends.
80.
Is that 39 in Celsius?
Well, that would be 100 and something. No, so you're right. It'll be chilly in the morning.
So come bundled up. But get ready to go. We're excited. And then, of course, the 5th graders have all the fun starting today and stuff with the paper balloons. And then, of course, there's Bulldogs in Review that's happening.
That's tonight.
Get the growl, too.
The British Invasion.
All right.
Okay, you've seen the poster, right? Here's the poster. It says Bulldogs on Review, British Invasion, November 4 and 6, Volume 21. So is it the Volume 21 of the British Invasion?
I think it's the 21st.
Or is it the 21st Bulldogs on Review?
I'm thinking the 21st Bulldogs on Review.
That's what I'm thinking now, that it's because it's structured that way. So
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Oh. I missed out on sarsaparilla.
But I hear this is going to be a really, really good production.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so they have all sorts of fun things, and we'll be involved. We'll be out there. Come see us on our balloon. We'll be helping crew. So that's what we got going on this weekend. And
cool thing is we're paired with the balloon that the pin this year that I got to see when I visited Jessica yesterday. Was designed after. I was like, yay!
Good. That's cool.
So I'm not giving anything away, but
that's cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because weather permitting, they'll launch Saturday morning and Sunday morning.
Yes.
So that means you have to be up early and ready to go as a crew.
Yes.
You might get to fly.
Yes.
Have you ever flown in a hot air balloon?
Yeah, not loosely flown. The last time they did balloons and tunes, we went up and then down again.
It was a static.
But it was just, So I've been up in them, but not like up, in a balloon.
I've never been up in a hot air balloon.
Okay.
I've been up in a bucket truck. Does that count? maybe
no.
once it hits the height.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
But they're a lot of fun. And so, really, that's what you come and see us. Come right in our balloon. Our banner will be on it with our logo, so we're pretty excited about that. And really, what we got going on this month is Giving Tuesday.
Okay.
So we're going to begin our countdown next week. That's November 30th. And like I said before, we have Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and then there's Giving Tuesday, which you give back to your favorite organizations. Now, if you are doing Cyber Monday or any online Black Friday sales, if you do smile.amazon.com/Artesia Arts Council, your purchases will help send us a little bit of funds.
Okay.
Or you can do that. You can find out whatever organizations you like that are participating. I usually end up with like St. Jude all the time, pops up as my first one. But yeah, so you can give back then, even before Giving Tuesday.
The Artesia Literacy Council is on that list. If,
good.
If that's somebody you want to help out that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Arts Council is one of those locations.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then on top of just doing the Giving Tuesday, which you'll be able, there is a tab already on our website where you can go Giving Tuesday and then donate, which takes you to our square and you can donate to us. But again, I just don't want to just promote us. Giving Tuesday is about, a lot of different organizations. So find the ones you feel passionate about. If it's the Arts Council too, great. But whatever you feel passionate about, just give back that day is what we encourage.
Yeah. By the way, I am now the operator of the Human Fund. I don't know if you remember that from Seinfeld. So any donations to the Human Fund will benefit me. So, yes, I've taken that over. So.
Yes, there we go.
But in all seriousness, that's a great idea to do that. Whatever it is that motivates you or that you feel it could be animal.
Yes, animals,
causes,
children.
Another thing we are gearing up for is finally, now this is going to happen probably the first part of December, but I have emailed out read copies of a play that actually a friend of mine from Ardmore, Oklahoma wrote with a writing collective he's part of down there, and it's been performed by the Gainesville Butterfield Players, or the Artesia. Hopefully it'll be done by the Ocotillo Comedy Troupe. And it was also performed by the Ardmore Little Theater, and there's like a whole series, and it's called Secrets of the Buttermilk Hotel. And this will be my first venture into adult directing, we're inviting older kids to audition as well, but to kind of do more of like a community theater play that is more like adults participating.
Have you scheduled the auditions then?
Yes, we will be doing that the evenings of December 6th and 7th, which is a Monday and Tuesday, and then we will probably do auditions the first part of the that Saturday as well. What is that, the 11th? The 11th.
The 11th. Okay,
Yeah.
So you'll have auditions. How many different parts will there be?
There are 15 roles, but I'm also looking, because it's a hotel, in my head, you're going to have like patrons loitering around, so we'll probably have extras for things like that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of have some fun with it. And we had done that when I had done a production, when I was part of a production of Fiddler on the Roof. The ensemble cast would wander across stage and greet each other and just kind of give it more of that realism of, oh, hey, this is a bustling village, not just people and, oh, look, there's Tevye singing.
So now, have you picked production dates for this? I mean, you've got your audition dates, but have you picked the dates that you're going to do the performance?
Yes, we are looking towards the end of April.
Okay.
And not like the very last weekend in April, but I think it's like the 22nd and the 23rd, something along those lines.
So, but the main thing is you've got the auditions coming up first week of December to be in that production. Okay, well, that sounds good. That sounds good.
And it's a comedy, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Hey, I'm going to backtrack us a little bit.
Sure. Absolutely.
The second is Light Up Artesia.
Right.
And we are working on having a little family sort of paint thing going on in our lobby after the parade.
Paintball?
No,
Paint
like
guns?
painting mini canvases of Christmas, something
okay.
Christmas.
All right.
We're working on
That'd
that.
be better than having the paintball guns.
Yeah, in our lobby. Oh my gosh. I think Lindsay would kill me. Anyway, so we've got that on the 2nd, and then
Yeah, because if there's any part of that building, it's like, it's mine, it's the lobby.
Then on the 7th and the 11th, outside of auditions, we have the gingerbread house decorating workshop.
Okay. And you ordered like a bunch of gingerbread
Yeah,
houses.
so there's plenty of gingerbread houses for
Okay.
people to come and have fun. Those will be going up for purchase on the website in the next week.
Okay.
And then there will be a link also through Facebook, just in case you get.
So you buy the houses.
Mhm.
and
We
then
put them together, and then you just come and decorate
you
them.
gather together on and what day is that?
It's the 7th.
Okay.
From 1 to 5, like come and go,
Okay.
because I did find out that we have a lot of homeschool kids,
Ah.
and their parents are very willing to take them out during the day to do an activity.
Excellent.
And then on the Saturday, for kids who aren't homeschooled, we have another 2 sessions that day for people to come.
Now, do we need to bring our own decorating material?
No, we'll have it. You can.
Okay.
You can bring your own. I think we mentioned last time that my
If you want
in-laws
to customize it, yeah.
were did a whole Air Force themed gingerbread house thing.
Yeah.
So if you have like ideas and you want to bring, extra your favorite candy because you plan on eating it, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, to make sure you have things on there
But
that
you
you
have
like.
items to use.
Yeah,
to
we'll
decorate
have
it.
plenty of candy.
Okay.
Fun story. A couple of years ago, like when my parents kept my cats for me, like when Zach and I were moving for like quite a few months. And one year, my sister brought her kids and like a whole bunch of like gingerbread house making supplies. And my sister caught my cat Blackbeard jumping up there and licking the frosting off of one of their houses.
I'm surprised that they didn't eat the whole gingerbread
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Because I think my dogs would have done something like
Yeah.
that.
My dog would also, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of neat because that'll be a nice little
Absolutely.
decoration for the holidays. Can a gingerbread house be sprayed with something that will preserve it for a longer period of time, or is it pretty
They
much?
actually last a
Do they?
long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if you really want
Like
to, you
the
could try
apples
like Krylon. No, I'm just kidding. Not spray paint, but like clear coat or something.
Well, I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, but
'cause-
generally they last because I think that gingerbread. I think they have a couple that are still like, 'cause you can keep them for a while.
Yeah.
If you actually store them correctly.
You might not want to eat them after a while.
Oh,
but
no,
yeah.
No, there's no the eatings.
I wasn't thinking that, but
And then I was gonna give a shout out to the community choir that they're trying to start. They're trying to do a
okay.
Christmas
Okay.
thing.
Been a couple
and
years.
and I know that they're planning on hopefully meeting interested people on the 7th in our lobby this month, November 7th. It's a Sunday from 1 to 3.
So if you have any interest at all in
community
participating
choir.
in a community choir
For Christmas.
come to the Ocotillo on
the 7th from 1 to 3.
Okay.
I would love to. I just don't think I'm going to have time.
Yeah, same. But also, then they will be rehearsing throughout a little bit November and then December, and then their performance is going to be the 16th.
16th. Okay. Well, that's something we may want to help
Oh, yeah.
promote or even
Yes.
broadcast if
Yeah, I think they would be thrilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we used to do that before. And I remember one year they were in the 512 building, but it was before it was remodeled.
Ah.
So it was still kind of warehousey.
Yes. Yeah, I thought I'd push out there because they got in touch with us to have it at our facility and to work out how to do that. And I think they're real excited and wanting to get a really good group of people together to be a part of the community choir. And they'll be doing Christmas themed
music.
Well, I would hope.
Yes.
We're going to have it in December. It better be
Yeah.
Christmas stuff.
So, and then after that, we've got Harry Potter at the pool,
Okay.
and that's the 18th
Of
December.
December. Okay. Harry Potter.
It's inside the pool, so we won't be outside freezing. You'll be inside with the warm water and the movie and all of that stuff.
Okay.
And
now,
then
wait, the movie, there's like 5 of them.
the first one.
The first one. Okay.
Now, if we could get through a few, we'll try. But we'll start with the first one.
Well, are they long movies generally?
They're pretty long.
They're pretty long?
Yeah.
I think like 2.5 hours
Oh,
a piece,
okay.
maybe.
Because that's one thing I read about the James Bond movie. It's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And I'm a James Bond movie fan, but 2.5 hours? You would think that the editors could get that story down.
Well, I remember one of the Pirates of the Caribbean, I think it was like the second or the third.
That was a long,
had an intermission when I went to see it in Clovis. Yeah. It was pretty long. So
those are interesting movies. First couple got real popular and then generated the franchise, and then after that it was just
weird.
Yeah.
Well, now they're going to try to do one without Johnny Depp, and I don't think that's a brilliant idea. But anyway.
Don't even get me started.
Then on the 21st, we have our Christmas movie.
Okay.
And we're doing Elf. The sing-along version.
Okay. I think I said this before. I don't think I've ever seen...
You'll have to come,
the
Gene.
whole movie. I've seen clips.
You have to come.
But I've not seen the whole movie. That's the Will Ferrell movie.
Yes.
And I hear it's just really...
It's hysterical.
People love it. People love it.
Hysterical. So. The first one was 2 hours and 32 minutes, and I'm pretty sure they all run about that.
You're talking about the Harry Potter movies?
Sorry,
yeah.
Yeah, no, she backtracked. Now we're on Elf. Yes.
No, I even asked her, and I'm so happy that she picked Elf because I have a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins T-shirt that I want to wear.
Okay.
Yes, and you get to come in your pajamas.
Okay.
Yeah, so the thing with the Elf, we'll get it set up, and because we only have so many seats, it is a first come, first serve sign up ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we encourage people to go to our website and stuff and sign up ahead of time for that. And if you come the day of, we will see if we have room, because sometimes people don't show up. But really, it's since it's free,
right.
You really just have to sign up ahead of time.
Sign up, and you'll have like popcorn.
We have popcorn and water,
Okay.
and then as a fundraiser, we'll have hot cocoa bombs to sell.
Okay.
So you take them home, so we won't have hot chocolate 5, because apparently in years past that's left us with a huge sticky mess. So we're trying. However, it was the idea to have hot chocolate at Light Up Artesia, so we'll see what happens. So maybe we'll decide
that
to have hot
generally
chocolate.
would be outside, though.
Light Up Artesia. Oh, well, when we do the paint stuff inside.
The paint stuff, yeah. Well, the paint could get everywhere. But if you do hot chocolate for Light Up, do that outside.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, then everybody can walk by and
have hot chocolate. Yes.
And help the Ocotillo. So, because hot chocolate's always good.
Oh, yeah,
Hot
to keep
cider,
warm.
Hot chocolate, yeah.
Oh, I love hot. That's actually my favorite is hot apple cider.
Have you guys ever had wassail?
I don't know what wassail is. I know it's in a song.
So wassail is very much a lot like hot apple cider.
Okay.
But it's got, I think, a few more spices and stuff in it.
Okay.
And I had it for the first time in Denton, and it was really, really good. So I'm going to have to find a recipe for that.
It's like a mold something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it can be alcoholic, but it doesn't have to be. So,
I know that people cringe when I say I'll have an eggnog latte, and people go, ew, because I'm not a big eggnog fan, but somehow when you steam it and do all that stuff with it, it turns out to be
I
pretty
actually
good.
like eggnog. Like I kind of grew up drinking that, and so
I
my dad
have
always has
literally
it.
never had it.
Well, I don't think you've missed anything.
I think you have to have it homemade, although I think there are a few brands of like store-bought that's pretty good. My dad always gets some from, I think, the Walmart in Wichita Falls, Texas, and I'm just like, I have to go visit my parents for Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I can drink all my dad's eggnog.
That specific one. Yeah, I've not had, no interest.
Now, you mentioned the website. I know you launched it or relaunched it here a couple weeks ago. So is all of this on the website?
It's about to be. So the fun thing is that there's so much going on with the website. We have, which is Tap Network is who we went through. If anybody's interested in their own websites, they're great. They have a guy. His name is Julian, and Julian is going to help me make sure all the events and stuff get on the website instead of leaving me to play around with it and break it by myself.
Yeah.
So we just actually met this week, and we're going through like a whole form to make sure all of that stuff gets put up in the correct way, that it works the first time.
Good.
Instead of me attempting and failing multiple times. So having some guidance.
You have a Julian, I have a Billy.
There you go. Yeah, we have a Julian. He's really awesome.
It used to be Susan, but now it's Billy.
See, there we go. So we all need a Julian or a Billy. Some of us, especially. Or Susan.
With
whoever.
a Z.
With a Z. Suzanne.
No, one Z.
Oh, one Z.
Yeah, no S, Z.
Oh, okay.
Susan. Yeah, anyway.
There was an interesting podcast where there was a lady her name was spelled that way.
Yeah.
But her and her husband went on like a serial killer spree.
Are you talking about that? And that's why we drink.
I'm not going to tell Susan. I know.
Yeah, so don't say that. But but that is like the
serial killers.
I got her on that podcast. There's a podcast called And That's Why We Drink. One person tells like true crime stories, the other one tells paranormal stories, and I've got a whole story behind that, but I'm not going to tell.
It was like they were around the 50s to the 70s era, and so
no.
I think I know which episode you're talking about.
To my knowledge, the Susan I know with the Z is not a serial killer.
That's great.
And does seem to get upset when everybody calls that thing that you spin around in the cabinet
lazy Susan.
The lazy Susan. She seems to be a little perturbed.
Well, this Susan was actually S. Susan first.
Okay.
And then she was on some stuff and had like a revelation that her name needed to be Susan with a Z. So then she changed it, which made it really hard for her to capture because they never changed it legally. So that's why there was like, they got to run around for a while because the names that she was.
All I can say is it's worked for me.
Yes. So we have the handy IT Susan with a Z, and then we had the
other one.
Cray psycho Susan.
Well, the changing the name that doesn't match, that's worked for me for a long time.
Oh, there you
go. So that's why I moved to Artesia. Anyway, so go to the website.
Yes.
It's
ArtesiaArtsCouncil.com.
Okay, and sign if you need to sign up. There'll be sign up info there. But call ahead for like the Elf movie and
call ahead, but we will also have a form in there because it will just be through our regular seating. So you'll go in and be able to look at the seating, and it will just mark it free.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the gingerbread houses, do they order those online or do they call?
Yeah, those will be able to purchase ahead of time, and we'll have hopefully enough that if we do get walk-ins, we should be able to help walk-ins.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Anything else?
One last thing.
Sure.
The remainder, because let me tell you, Kirsten sold very well. The majority of her pieces sold, and that's like a really big deal. But the rest of her pieces that are still on display will be down at the 510 building through the rest of the month.
That was your artist in residence last month, Kirsten Moritzen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so it's what hasn't sold is at
the 510 building. So if you guys want to see that, come see me on Friday from 3 to 5.
Okay. Very good.
The 510 building will be open during that time.
Good deal. Is that a Shazam sweater?
No. But I got it at Gracie's. Gracie's got, I'm going to do a free ad for Gracie's. She's got a lot of great stuff up.
She really
I was going in for Bulldog stuff because all of my Bulldog stuff is in a quilt.
Okay.
And the most is that I have that's kind of orange and black is that We Are All Essentials that the Chamber did.
Right.
But I was like, I actually need something that says Bulldogs on it for Fridays. So I went in for one thing. I walked past this on the rack, and it just called my name in retro 80s, 90s fashion.
Yep.
And I could not have it. So, yes. Yep. This is a Gracie's, so if you guys like it,
there you go.
Some.
This looks like something you could wear.
Yes, where we kind of alternate. It's like, ooh, I like that. So then I go over there to see what she's got.
When you get ready to watch the movie Flash Gordon.
Yes.
That would be the perfect thing to wear for Flash Gordon. All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Gene.
We're going to take a quick break, open up the Zoom room, and let Aaron in, see if he has seen the movie Flash Gordon. That's coming up next. Your pet is an important member of your family. That's why at Artesia Animal Clinic, we strive to provide complete care for your pet. Our services include dental, lab, preventative medicine, surgery, and ultrasound, along with herd health for our livestock friends. We also know how busy you are, so we'll do our best to accommodate your schedule. Meet our doctors and staff by visiting artesiaanimalclinic.com or just drop by our clinic at 110 West Mahone across from the Artesia Ford Service Center. Artesia Animal Clinic, serving the needs of your pets and livestock 24/7, 365 days a year.
It's the big November savings produce sale at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. New crop fancy navel oranges, 99 cents a pound. Large Hass avocados, 99 cents each. Fresh spicy jalapenos, 99 cents a pound. Fresh bell peppers, 3 for $1. And extra large seedless black grapes, $1.79 a pound at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. And right now, Pepsi, all flavors, 12-pack 12-ounce cans or 8-pack 12-ounce bottles, 3 for $12 at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. Kiwanis of Roswell and the Roswell Community Little Theater present the music of Simon and Garfunkel, performed by folk duo Swearingen and Kelly, Saturday, November 6th at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Fundraiser performance times will be at 2 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. Reserved seats are $28 and VIP $40. Purchase tickets online at roswelltheater.com or call 575-513-8119. Don't miss this fundraising tribute to the magical sounds of Simon and Garfunkel by Swearingen and Kelly, Saturday, November 6th, 2 and 7:30 p.m. at the Roswell Community Little Theater. For over 77 years, you've counted on Forest Tire Company. Forest Tire knows that just being there for you is what matters most. That's why Michelin packs more innovation inside its tires to maximize performance without sacrificing capabilities, so you can continue to go the extra mile to be there for the ones who matter most. Be it your car, truck, RV, or semi, trust your tires to the folks who know more about tires than anyone else. Forest Tire, keeping you rolling since 1944.
The demand for registered nurses continues to grow. Now is the time to apply for New Mexico's #1 ranked nursing program at ENMU Roswell. A new class of first-year students will be accepted for this coming January 2022 semester. Receive state-of-the-art training with experienced faculty who will prepare you for a rewarding career in nursing. Application deadline is November 5th. For more information, call 575-624-7401.
Wait for it. It's coming. Spring River Park and Zoo present Race for the Zoo 2021. Saturday, November 13th, beginning at 9 a.m. It's a 5K with a 2-mile option. And you can run, walk, crawl, scuttle, whatever. With t-shirts for all races and awards and trophies for the fastest finishers. Proceeds go towards keeping our furry and feathered friends cared for. For more information, contact the Roswell Parks and Recreation Department at 575-624-6719. And register online at roswellconnect.com. Race for the Zoo 2021, November 13th, 9 a.m. at Spring River Zoo.
Dean's Inc. of Artesia provides a superior choice for all your electrification, communication, and supply needs, with a vision to be the premier industrial electrical service provider in New Mexico and West Texas, providing unparalleled quality in supplies and service with highly skilled and conscious personnel. We pledge to our customers to exhibit the utmost in integrity and reputation while providing superior quality in all we do. Dean's Inc., located at 409 Commerce Road or online at deansinc.com.
Well, I want to apologize, everyone. My computer that I use for the radio streaming and for our Zoom calls, my primary Zoom computer that I log in on to do these meetings, said to me this morning, so I'm doing a reboot right now just to see if I can get it back up. And I had to call Aaron. We're on the old phone.
The landline.
Well, it's not even that anymore. We have a voice over IP system.
Oh, yeah, I guess I do too. So, yeah. That's true.
So it's not even that anymore, but I apologize. I'm sure you worked hard on your slideshow
well, it just
today.
Means I've got my background done for tomorrow, so we're all right.
Well, I'm glad the phones are working anyway. That's just really frustrating. That's the thing about technology. When it works, it is awesome. And when it doesn't work, it is the worst thing on the planet. And we say bad things about Bill Gates, but there's a lot of reasons to say bad things about Bill Gates. But this is one directly related to his company that he used to run. So, how are you today?
Right. Oh, doing pretty good. How about you?
I got tickled at Florida Governor Ron DeSantis yesterday. He was giving a press conference, and he called it the Brandon administration. And I think that caught. And then this morning, I don't generally get to listen much to Hugh Hewitt because he's on when I'm either waking up in the shower or preparing for my show. But today, I guess one of the callers got on his show and said, "Let's go, Brandon." And he went on this 5-minute diatribe about how, it was funny at first, but it's not funny now. It's disrespectful. I know what you're trying to say. It's horrible language, and we're not going to say that on this show. So I'm thinking about emailing him and concluding everything. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about changing my signature on my emails to include
LGB.
LGB. Let's go, Brandon. But yeah, DeSantis called it the Brandon administration, and everybody just started laughing, and everybody's like, "Let's go, Brandon!" And I thought, why? To me, that's okay. It was okay to actually use the word against Trump before, but
right. Yeah.
Anyway. So we're calling him Walter. Now we're going to call him Brandon. So it's the Brandon administration. So
very good. Yeah. Well, I see today that his administration is actually allowing companies to wait till after the holidays to implement their vaccine mandates.
Wait a minute. I have a question, Aaron. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are dying. We have to get vaccinated. Why are we allowing there to be any delay or any wait at all? It should be put into and implemented and in effect now because it's so serious.
Because companies need people during the Christmas rush, and then they don't care after that.
Well, there isn't going to be any
work
Christmas.
Hard over Christmas if you haven't been vaccinated because they didn't get shafted at the end of it. Well, that's for companies with over 100 employees.
Yeah, well, but they're going to keep tweaking it.
I don't think it'll hold up in court.
No, I don't think it will either. That sounds like an overreach to me on the part of OSHA.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what the argument is that they make, because they're supposed to be overseeing occupational health and safety.
Mm-hmm.
Are unvaccinated people, is that the same as junk covering up fire exits? Is that the same thing as hazardous working conditions? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to argue.
Yeah.
But they would have to argue that somebody that's vaccinated can't spread COVID to be able to make that the case. And I think they've proven that's wrong.
That's not true. So, maybe the first step is we're going to stop calling it a vaccine.
Yeah.
We're going to call it a COVID shot.
Call it the Brandon jab.
And then somebody needs to tell Brandon that his administration is working on a plan to pay illegals who were deported under Trump $450,000 per person, because everybody else in the administration is saying they're working on it.
Yeah. And, of course, we agree that that's garbage.
Absolutely.
that they would do that. So I guess he's agreeing with us that that's a stupid plan, but they're going forward anyways.
Yeah. No, it's a strange world. I keep saying it, but it is a strange world that we're living in right now. So
It is.
Well, make us smile. Tell us something funny to think about today.
All right. Well, my first one is a hot air balloon one.
Okay.
So, why did the crazy guy jump out of the hot air balloon's basket?
Crazy guy, because he wanted to get to the other side.
No, he wanted to escape from the balloony bin.
Yeah, he's crazy.
And the next ones aren't questions. They're just statements of fact here.
Okay.
So 99% of lawyers give the rest a bad name.
By the way, in radio broadcasting, it's 73.5% of radio broadcasters give the rest of us a bad name.
Okay.
Not as bad as the lawyers, but it's up.
Not as bad as lawyers quite yet.
Yeah.
Then Instagram is just Twitter for people who go outside.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Then there's nothing more awkward than the moment you realize you're getting a double cheek kiss.
A double...
Have you ever had that happen?
You talking about like from the grandma or something like that?
Or from somebody, like if, like when I went to Jersey, people would do that sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
It's just That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, and it is very awkward. You're
not a
don't
fan.
turn your head. If you turn your head the wrong way, it turns into a really awkward moment. So.
Yeah. Not a fan. I would be with you there. That would be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. My last one.
Mm-hmm.
A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it.
It's been that way for a long time,
It has.
Yeah, you want to borrow money, but you need collateral. What's that? Well, we need to know that...
You don't have enough money to borrow money.
That's right.
What?
That's right. That's why I need the loan.
If I had money?
If I had the money, I wouldn't be here asking you for it.
That's too much of a risk for us at the bank.
Yeah, well, there's probably a good reason for them to think twice. If you don't have any money and you have a stupid idea, it's probably not a good idea to give you money.
Yeah. We want you to be one of those people that said, all the banks turned me down, but I made it anyway, so we're helping you. There are some outlier stories that fit that category, but for the most part, I think they're pretty capable of identifying. So. Yeah. Yep. They were right.
Yeah, that's right.
Bad idea.
Yeah. So not all the time, but most of the time. So.
Yeah.
Well, we probably ought to see how the markets are doing this morning. I'm sure, since I'm on the phone, Michael's probably trying to call right now. So.
Oh, okay.
We'll let you give the report and see how things are going.
All right. This is Aaron Irving with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Thursday, November the 4th. The S&P 500 rose for a sixth day in a row today as investors took solace in the Federal Reserve's patient stance on raising interest rates, while stronger than expected economic data also boosted sentiment. The S&P 500 gained 0.4% to a new intraday high, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average was trading lower. The tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite rose 0.8%, also at an all-time high. All three averages finished the prior session at record highs. The central bank said that it will begin to slow its bond buying program later this month, signaling that the economy can now handle an unwinding of pandemic stimulus. Investors had long anticipated the move and liked that the Fed did not signal it would be any more aggressive than necessary in raising interest rates once the bond tapering was finished next year. The S&P 500 is up 1.3% so far for this week, pushing the year-to-date return up to 24% as the benchmark enters a seasonally strong part of the year for markets. On the data front, U.S. jobless claims totaled 269,000 for the week ending October 30th. This is the lowest pandemic-era total and better than the 275,000 expected by economists polled by Dow Jones. October's hotly anticipated jobs report will be released on Friday. Consensus estimates call for 450,000 jobs added, according to Dow Jones. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is currently down 86 points to 36,070. The S&P 500 is 8 points higher at 4,668, and the NASDAQ Composite is up 71 points to 15,882. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 42 cents a barrel to $80.43. Stocks of local interest. Holly Frontier Corporation is down $1.51 per share to $32.39. Walmart is $1.25 higher at $151.43 a share. EOG Resources is up 59 cents a share at $91.54, and ConocoPhillips is up $1.10 to $73.84 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley and Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oiwealth.com or at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. We're going to take a quick break here and get the line cleared for Michael and be back right after this.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
They then love being called congressman and senator, et cetera, et cetera. And
then the Washington swamp has this way of like dragging you down into the muck and the mud and the leaves and the where only the alligators swim. And they do it by, well, we really need your vote here. But it's not something that you ran on or something that you ever thought you would support. And then the pressure becomes enormous. And then they start holding out committee assignments. And then they start holding out positions in leadership. And slowly but surely your identity, it's sort of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You went there with all the best of intentions and you change. And you abandon your number one job.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Hey, I've got good news today for parents that want to homeschool their children. Look, by now you have already heard about the Acellus learning system. It's now in use by 6,700 schools all over the country. And this year with the pandemic, Acellus, they've become the go-to solution for schooling students at home. Now, the good news today is more and more school districts, they are stepping in to pick up the cost of providing high-quality Acellus lessons to students studying at home. The program is called Cyber School, and the students study at home, and the local school district picks up the cost of the tuition. Now, check to see if your district is participating in cyberschool.com. Now, this is an opportunity to have Acellus best homeschool solution for your kids at no cost to you, the parents. That's cyberschool.com. Now, Acellus really works as a homeschool solution. By the way, students are able to participate in their district's sports and social activities. It's a real game changer that people have been looking for. Cyberschool.com. That's CYBRschool.com.
All right, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. And joining us now is Michael Redman from the Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, I hope all your computers are working.
Well, actually, the internet is undergoing repairs right now. They're swapping out fiber lines, so phones and internet are down completely.
Okay, so don't try to call the museum because that's not going to work. But hopefully they'll get you back up and running here real soon. So
yeah, it should be sometime this morning, hopefully.
Good. Well, we've been, last couple of weeks, we've been talking about wars that have actually been fought on New Mexico soil, kind of looking back at the history of that. And we talked a lot about those darn Texans and their invasions over the last couple of weeks. Where would you like to head to this time?
This time we're going to 1846.
Okay.
The 1840s were a pretty bad decade for New Mexico. Because last time was 1843, and then before that, 1841. And now we're at 1846, and this time it's an actual full-blown war.
Okay.
The Mexican War.
Okay.
Of 1846.
All right.
It was a war between the United States and Mexico, partly because Texas was annexed in 1845, partly because relations between the two countries were just really strained. And so in 1846, right after the declaration of war came out, the United States immediately invaded along the Santa Fe Trail into New Mexico.
Wow.
The goal was to, it wasn't so much to capture New Mexico as it was to capture California, but in order to do so, they wanted an overland route, which meant capturing New Mexico. And so they did. It was a force that left Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, consisted of professional soldiers from the 1st Regiment of Dragoons, along with a lot of volunteers from Missouri. Mostly mounted volunteers, riflemen on horses who would get off their horses for battle. And I believe 3 companies of infantry and 2 companies of artillery, all volunteers.
Wow. I guess that was a pretty good-sized force at the time, or how would that have compared to a normal period force?
It was about 1,600 soldiers. And I believe 16 cannons.
Okay.
Either 8 or 16.
So a pretty sizable force for the time.
It was, especially out west. Of course, the fighting that was going on at the same time in southern Texas, northern Mexico under Zachary Taylor, those were forces around 5,000 to 10,000 soldiers. And the following year, in 1847, when the United States actually invaded central Mexico, there was about 20,000 soldiers. But in California, there was fighting involving just 200 and 300 soldiers.
Okay.
So the United States invades along the Santa Fe Trail, leaving first group left Fort Leavenworth on June 28th. And by August 15th, they were at Las Vegas.
Okay.
They took Las Vegas. General Kearny, the commander of the United States forces, issued a famous proclamation stating that the United States would not take away the religious freedoms and liberties of people in New Mexico, and would protect them from unrest and raids and fighting from the Navajo people, specifically. And then the Army went on to Santa Fe. It took a few days to get to Santa Fe from there. The governor at the time, same governor from 1841 and 1843, Governor Armijo, assembled a lot of militia, a lot of volunteers, a couple of professional soldiers. Force that was about, I've read various accounts, around 2,000 to 4,000 people. But they were like in 1841. They were mostly armed with older muskets, spears, machetes, pitchforks, bows and arrows. They had some cannons that were really old, and it was just not a force that could stand up to a modern army, especially since the dragoons carried breech loaders, which were quite uncommon during the era. And the Missouri mounted volunteers had rifles. And what exactly happened is not known, because documents were never generated and other documents were lost, but some people say the governor was bribed to abandon Santa Fe, while others think he simply knew that it was going to be a massacre and just disbanded the army. Either way, the army that was assembled at the Glorieta Pass was sent back home, and then without any fighting at all, the United States took Santa Fe.
So and again, just trying to understand the different players in this. Now, the Texans weren't a part of this, right? They were they a part of the United States by this time, or are they still their own country?
They were annexed in 1845, and that's mostly the reason why the war was fought in the first place. That was considered a significant insult to Mexico, because Mexico did not recognize Texas independence.
And then you had New Mexico territory, which was still influenced by and connected part of Mexico, right?
It was, and some of the forces that Armijo assembled to defend Santa Fe were in fact Mexican professional soldiers who were sent north to defend New Mexico.
And
so it wasn't just a militia.
Right. So that's interesting. And so they, the defense forces, and I take it they did not have any help from Mexico itself. The Mexican army didn't have a presence in New Mexico at this time.
There was a small presence, mostly cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no fighting there. And after Armijo fled and most of the Mexican government fled, the United States declared it to be a part of the United States. The General Kearny appointed a governor. They quickly spread out through the states, went on patrols, started fighting the Navajo people, and then sent a force to California to try to take California.
Now,
however, the bulk of the army stayed in New Mexico.
So the force that they sent to California came from this group that came from Kansas originally?
It was dragoons with 2 cannons.
Gotcha. That's who went to California.
And of those who stayed, the Missouri Mounted Volunteers eventually went on to take El Paso. And they fought a battle against a mix of local militia and a lot of professional soldiers just south of Las Cruces at El Bracito on Christmas Day, 1846.
Now, was El Paso part of Texas at the time, or was it still considered part of Mexico?
It was still part of Mexico. That part was not really ironed out until the peace treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848.
Okay.
So at this time, it was still part of Mexico. They still had a lot of Mexican soldiers stationed there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of cavalry, and the militia were mostly infantry. And the fight was a rather short battle because the mounted volunteers from Missouri had rifles, and the Mexican cavalry had a lot of lances and spears, and so they were not very successful. Because people on horseback can't really fight too well when they're trying to charge a group of soldiers formed up in a line who are just standing there firing volley after volley at long ranges.
Right.
So the Missouri Mounted Volunteers won that battle. They took El Paso, and then they continued on to Chihuahua and into northern Mexico, modern-day northern Mexico, and took that town as well.
Now, if you travel around New Mexico now, are there any monuments or markers or any indication talking about this specific area of battle, the 1946 battles that took place in New Mexico?
I have never been to that area of Las Cruces to look for the battlefield, so I could not say if there are monuments or markers there.
Mm-hmm.
There are markers for other events that happened during the war. Like in Las Vegas, there's a marker where the general gave the proclamation. You'll find markers in Santa Fe. And I believe there are markers for the last fighting in the war in New Mexico's perspective in 1847. Because shortly after the battle down at Las Cruces, there was another battle up at Taos. It was the Taos Rebellion on January 19th, 1847. It lasted a few weeks, where the people in Taos killed the governor who was the American-appointed governor, and a few other government officials. Proclaimed Taos to be independent. Until the United States Army went north from Santa Fe, and after some really nasty fighting, they retook Taos and then executed a lot of the leaders of the rebellion.
Well, that tended to happen at that point in time. Now, you mentioned Glorieta. Is there any? I don't think you said there was an actual. Was there an actual battle there at Glorieta at one point?
Not in 1846.
Not in 1846. Okay.
At that point, it was when Armijo called all the militia up. They set up blockades, and they were ready to fight. And then Armijo told everybody to go home.
Yeah.
So there's no actual fighting there.
They saw the overwhelming forces that they were up against, and probably thought better of it. So, well, because there's a lot of markers, historical markers, and things like that across New Mexico. I just didn't know if there were anything. If there's anything that people can go and see that points out locations or talks about some of these events that you've been describing today.
I'm not sure where exactly markers would be located. However, people interested in learning more can definitely go to places like Fort Stanton and Fort Union, especially Fort Union, because that fort was created shortly after the war ended. And the forces that invaded New Mexico in 1846, the The Missouri Volunteers, the 1st Regiment, was sent home because they had a 1-year enlistment. The 2nd group from Missouri had a slightly longer enlistment, so they stayed for the rest of the war. But the Dragoons, the 1st Regiment of Dragoons, they stayed in New Mexico, and they formed most of the garrisons at the forts that were started at the time. The Fort Fillmore, Fort Craig, Fort Conrad, Fort Thorne, and Fort Union. And Fort Stanton was later formed in 1855.
So Fort Union is where?
That is, if you go north on 25, it's about 30 miles north of Las Vegas.
Okay, in that part of New Mexico. Well, we're out of time for the segment. The museum is open for folks to come and visit?
We are open Tuesday through